Good evening, everybody, and welcome. I am Teeks88, and coming up, I'll be speedrunning Lufia and the Fortress of Doom. But before I begin, I just want to give a huge thank you to RetroGamingLiveTV and the staff for hosting this marathon and allowing me to take part. This game is very close to my heart, as it is not only one of the first JRPGs released on the Super Nintendo in 1993, but it was one of my earliest experiences of the genre. This game was developed by Neverland Studio and published by Taito, but today the Lufia franchise is owned by Square Enix, where it's unfortunately been dormant for the past several years. When people think about the Lufia series, I think it's safe to say that most immediately think of Lufia 2, Rise of the Sinistrals, and for great reason. I mean, it's a wonderful game, it's got great music, engaging puzzles, and some Legend of Zelda-like styles of dungeon navigation. But today, it's an honor and a pleasure to showcase where the series started. And I am supported and joined in the commentary booth by my lovely and wonderful Ikaros. Welcome on in. How are we doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. I am really a little bit on the nervous side because I'm not too familiar to the game as Tix is, but I'm here to join him because I know how important this speedrun project has been to him. So I really hope that you guys enjoy the show, and let's pray for good RNG for some of the bosses and some of the encounters. So I'll let you begin.
Absolutely, thank you so much. And yeah, we have to place a great amount of emphasis on RNG because there's going to be quite a lot of it, some of which we can manipulate, although some of the boss fights can be a little out of our control depending on what they do. And also worth noting that while some childhood nostalgia bias might be at play, I think that this game is, in spite of its flaws, very severely overlooked and underrated compared alongside its sequel. And yeah, it's going to be a pleasure to take the opportunity to draw more attention to this classic. So without further ado, let's get started. So I'm going to start off with a little RNG manipulation with a quick reset, and time will start as soon as I confirm my name entry. All right. So, as we begin, a note about this category: Retry mode is essentially New Game Plus, meaning you can progress through the story the same way you would in normal mode, but the only difference is that enemies and bosses give you 4 times the amount of experience and gold per battle, cutting out approximately an hour and a half worth of grinding overall. We're going to still share a lot of the same challenges that we would experience in normal mode, especially since we are still heavily at the mercy of boss RNG. But it's going to be a lot more marathon-friendly, to say the least. Now, the premise of the story is fairly linear. There's going to be a floating island that appears in the sky, and it's inhabited by 4 mighty beings, collectively referred to as the Sinistrals, all of whom have ambitions of, the typical conquering the world. These are Gades, the Sinistral of Destruction, Amon, the Sinistral of Terror, Aram, the Sinistral of Death, and Deos, who's the leader, the Sinistral of Chaos. But in the wake of this horror, 4 brave warriors have taken it upon themselves to challenge the Sinistrals and bring peace to the world. They are Maxim, Guy, Artia, and Salon. So, interesting to note about this game is that while it's the first of 2 Super Nintendo releases, Lufia and the Fortress of Doom is actually the sequel in terms of the story's chronology, whereas Lufia 2 gives a greater context and backstory to Maxim's life, such as how he met the warriors and how he was able to fight alongside them, and the journey that led him to becoming the legendary hero that we know about him today. So yeah, the manipulation that I did was I wanted to confirm my name entry on the using a specific audio cue in the music. So if I set it up correctly, we should be on the right frame rule so that we can minimize enemy encounters over the course of the fortress as we make our way to the Sinistral fights. So the first 2 screens are usually pretty free, we never really have to worry about anything. So I'm going to do a quick pause buffer right about now. And we'll see, we'll leave it in Fate's hands right now. We'll see if we got the minute. So far, so good. Well, to be fair, we got very close to the end of the hallway, so if that's our only encounter, this is still amazing. No, too good to be true.
You spoke too soon. Yeah, once we reach the breach, we're taking a moment to put the text scrolling and maximum speed to do some sorting in our TS spell list. We really want to put Trick in slot number 1 to menu it for it faster, and we'll be making good use of it in the upcoming battles. The sinistral fights will more or less follow the same script, with the exception of a couple of small variations. And because we're such a high level, we can generally tank damage for 2 whole boss battles without needing to heal. So right now we'll be facing against Gades, and we'll have our Tia to cast Dread to nerf the defense, and that should be enough. Solana will be casting Thunder since it's her strongest spell, and both Maxim and Guy will be the powerhouses for the physical attacks. Gades here has roughly 2800 HP, so he'll be down in roughly 3 turn cycles. I know that he can only deal physical attacks, so he's typically weak against lightning spells.
So yeah, we see him making good use of an attack called Destroy, which is basically just the name of his crit. So even though we took quite a bit of damage from some of those, we're still very much over level where we don't really have to worry about anybody taking any death right now. So yeah, we were able to get a nice crit on Maxim, so that sped up the fight a little bit better.
Right now we'll be fighting against Amon. And the only change we'll be making to this fight is that our Tia will be casting Trick to buff the attack stats on Maxim and Guy. Solana will still continue her Thunder spell spam, but the biggest time swings in these upcoming fights is how many times they cast Area of Effect or AoE spells on us. For example, in the case of Amon, he likes to cast spells like Thunder and Flood, which attack the whole party, while creating animations for each character individually. And every time he does it, we lose 7 seconds compared to doing a regular attack. The thing about spells and items that boost and nerf stats is that their effect gradually wears off on subsequent turns, to the point where their effects go back to default by the 3rd turn cycle.
I don't... Okay.
Oh my god. We're gonna be healing up pretty soon though, like after we're like completing this fight. No, not Thunder! No, Guy!
I'm surprised that Amon survived as long as he did. That's crazy.
Just one turn. Bad RNG.
Indeed.
Okay, so now we'll be healing up our party and definitely helping out the Guy to come back on his feet. And in the case of Erim, she's pretty much the easiest fight. She has the highest magic defense of the 4, so it makes no sense to be using Thunder against her, since regular attacks are going to be doing more like a damage and take less animation frames. Artea will be continuing to buff Maxim and Guy with Trick, and this is pretty much a match A to win type of battle.
Exactly. Yeah, we were able to get both of the buffs on Maxim and Guy pretty quickly, so yeah, we're just mashing A just to confirm regular attacks on all the party members. We saw just a moment ago, Aaron was able to do a regular attack on one of the party members, so that actually was a pretty good time save. Yeah, even though sometimes she can cast Dread in order to nerf our defense, it's ultimately pretty inconsequential for this fight. So yeah, we lost about like 20 seconds just on Amon alone, just because, yeah, he spent a lot of time just spamming Thunder and just didn't let up at all.
Okay, and last but not least, we have Deus, and it's going to follow the same battle script that we used for Amon, sorry, I keep
I never really knew which was the correct way. I always say Amon just because that's how I grew up saying it, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, and I say it Amon because of my language. So, RTA, well, in this battle, RTA will keep using Trick to buff Maxim and Guy, and Selan will go back to Thunder. Daos will be continuing spamming AoE spells, as we can see, with Vulcan, or sometimes it could be Flood, which is the water type of spell. And there's a slight possibility that he could kill one or two party members, so hopefully, this really highly depend on how many times they got targeted by Arim's attacks, but honestly, we shouldn't be like we shouldn't lose too much, or die too much, I would say, for each party member. So I think he's gonna be down pretty soon.
Yep, Deus is down.
Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, that got a little scary. It looks like Maxim was about to die, but we were pretty deep enough into the battle where it didn't really matter anymore, so either Guy or Solana or somebody would have gotten him anyway. So yeah, we finished the Sinistral fight at around 8:36. That probably would have been like a reset for me for PB attempts, but I think that for a marathon, like this is pretty much average for a no reset standard, so we'll certainly take that. I've definitely had worse in the past. So yeah, continuing with where we are in the story right now, we saw the Sinistrals try to merge their energy together as a last resort to destroy the world. So the party members followed suit by merging their enemy and were able to stop the eruption. But in the heat of that battle, it looks like all the party members scattered across the room. Guy and Artia managed to survive just fine, but unfortunately the eruption struck Salon pretty badly, and it ended up with a fatal injury. So yeah, we saw the bridge collapse, and unfortunately Maxim and Salon were out of range for Artia's teleportation to escape, so Maxim decided to just stay behind with her. Yeah, it was a very tragic end to the prologue. We could see in Salon's final words that she just longed for a world where, you know, her and Maxim and their child could just live peacefully. So as we fade to black, we're going to go into about 5 minutes worth of text in order to set the stage for the main story. So the events of Lufia and the Fortress of Doom are going to take place 99 years after the events of Doom Island with Maxim and party. So yeah, the monologue is basically just saying that there's been 90 years of relative peace, there haven't been any monster invasions, the Sinistrals haven't come back, but yeah, there hasn't really been any problems. And they try to give a little bit of foreshadowing of what could happen by saying that, you know, time flows like a river, history has a tendency to repeat itself, and that's essentially where the trouble is going to begin. So now we set the stage for the present, and we are in the peaceful little village of Alekia, and we could see the story is focused on the old man Roman, who is just an innocent innkeeper. And we see this little red-headed boy. We have no idea who he is. But yeah, apparently he's befriended the innkeeper, and while they're hanging out, we see this little purple-haired girl, Lufia, just kind of walk through the door one day. The innkeeper Roman asks who she is, but she doesn't really give any proper answer, so we don't know who her background, we don't know where she's from, we don't know who her parents are. But the little red-headed guy, you know, he's friendly to her, and they get along pretty easily. So they agree to just play hide and seek. And that pretty much just sets the stage about how they met, and, you know, how they became very close childhood friends over the course of 9 more years. So now they're all grown up a bit more, so yeah, Hero and Lufia are roughly 16 years old by this point. And the hero, who also happens to be Maxim's descendant, joined the Alekian military, so he became a knight himself. But because there's been 99 years of relative peace, all of the military members have become complacent, so they feel entitled to just skip training whenever they want to. But the only one who seems bothered by this is the hero, whom we have named RGLtv. So, yeah, after we found out about the cancellation, he went to go hang out with Lufia over in the garden. So, Lufia pulls him aside to show him that the Perfea flowers are in bloom. Those happen to be her favorite flowers of all time. So she's like, oh, where are they? Oh, but they're everywhere. Take a look. So they take a moment just to have like a sweet moment together. They're kind of reminiscing on, you know, their life growing up and, you know, just some childhood memories. And then the conversation takes a shift to become a little more serious. The hero becomes concerned where, like, you know, everybody is at peace, everybody's letting down their guard. What if monsters end up coming back one day? What if evil, you know, strikes Earth once again? But Lufia gives him some gentle reassurance, saying that, you know, you're a knight of Alekia, you have Maxim's blood running through your veins, so if anything should ever happen, I know that you'll be there to protect us. So they have a little bit of a fun banter later on, as we see right now, and then they agree to have a little date where Lufia is going to use Innkeeper Roman's kitchen to bake some cinnamon pie. So while they're all hanging out at the inn, the hero happens to overhear a conversation between these two NPCs on the far right. So, have you heard? There's been some monsters invading the kingdom of Sharon. So he overhears this, he becomes alarmed, and he runs out to investigate, leaving poor Lufia behind, not knowing what's going on and why he bailed. So she looks out for him at the outside of the building, she's confused, and now once she realizes that he's gone, she's mad. So at this point in the run, this is where the real run actually begins. So we're going to regain control of the hero, and we have a couple of things that we need to do before we leave town.
Definitely. Yeah. Before we leave the town Alekia, we had to pick up some items like that revive that it was in that bookshelf. We're gonna be selling it though, because that's gonna give us our first round of inventory. We're gonna be buying arrows, sweet water, potions, and antidotes. The arrows deal more damage than the default weapon, so we'll be using them in our first round of encounters. The sweet water, it reduces the rate by 50% of encounters per 128 steps, or at least the duration lasts 128 steps. The potions for healing, they restore 20 HP each, and one antidote, mostly for safeties, in case the spider, if we encounter the spiders and they bite us, like that one. And as we just pointed out loud, it actually like beat us, kind of funny, but yeah. Then we will be like heading towards this northern like village, just to create a checkpoint, and we can work back there later. Every time that you can teleport to towns, no, sorry. The way that we teleport to towns is that we use either the warp spell or a specific item called the swing wing, which will be stocking upon them like pretty soon.
Yeah, we don't have anybody who has the warp spell right now, so we're stuck using swing wings whenever we can collect them, and they allow us to teleport to any village that we've visited at least once. Uh-oh. Okay. Yeah, every once in a while you get an enemy called the Anemone that can confuse you if it uses Tentacle. It's like a 50-50 chance it'll actually take effect.
Hopefully it's done and we got to level up just a bit. Yeah, right now the story intends us to visit Sharon, but we just visited it and bailed just to create like those progression flags. And however, before we actually continue towards that path, we will go to the seaport of Trek, where we'll be stocking up on items over here. We will be needing to sell some junk. I mean, we'll be stocking up on items that we're gonna be selling out for gold. And we ideally want the hero to be reaching level 3 before this town, but otherwise it's not a big deal. Among the items that we're gonna be getting, aside from the arrows. We will be buying 2 swing wings. Well, we actually got some right now. Depending on how much money we have left. The importance of the arrows. Sorry, I was gonna just point out that the importance of the arrows is that it will allow us to attack identical enemies that are grouped together. That's why we like to use them. So yeah, you may continue.
Yeah, I was just going to say that we pretty much reached level 3 before we entered the city of Trek. So that was pretty much a good indication that we had enough money to afford all 3 swing wings that we wanted to collect. So now we're back, and we used the swing wing to warp back to the hometown Alekia. And now Lufia returned back to her bedroom in Roman's place. And yeah, she scolds us for bailing out on the cinnamon pie date. And when we tried to explain that, we went to go investigate Sharon, she still wasn't really happy about that. So while we're on our way out, the innkeeper Roman explains that, she's not really mad about the pie. She's really more upset about the fact that you went off to a dangerous place by yourself and didn't tell her. So we can see as we leave town, she chases after us, and she's pretty much well aware of the fact that, you're a knight, it's pretty much your destiny to just go out on an adventure and put yourself in danger, and, you have this strong pursuit of justice, but I still want to be by your side. So she's asking to accompany him on his path, and he's pretty much rejecting that because, as a knight, he's well equipped to take care of himself and protect himself, but there's no guarantees that, he'll be able to protect her as well, and he doesn't want to live with the fact that, something might happen to her. But she's reassuring him that, even if you're not sure how yet, I know you'll find a way to protect me. So, she's very confident that, nothing's gonna happen to her, and as long as I'm with you, I know I'm safe. So, they kind of laugh about it. They have a little bit of banter about the fact that, she always gets her own way. So eventually, he agrees to let her back. He agrees to let her into the party. So once again, we're going to use our swing wing to go back to Sharon and then backtrack over into the cave, because that's the way to minimize the amount of steps it takes to talk to the NPC we're about to meet.
Yeah, this upcoming NPC, it's a resident of the town of Chatham, who explains that his sister is being held captive. His sister is named Lila, and she's also like a servant to the Sharon King. So for now, we'll try to go back to Sharon, and we'll skip most of the items in the castle once that we get there. With the exception of an item that it's called the mid arrow. Also, there's a revive and some gold as well, and we'll be unlocking the dungeon entrance to rescue the sister along with the king and other servants.
Alright, so we got our mid arrow, we got our revive, we got our gold, and now we're going to unlock the switch to access the dungeon downstairs. So whether you take the left side or the right side, it doesn't really matter because this room is entirely symmetrical, so it's going to take the same number of steps in order to access the jail. So now we reach the dungeon, the jail, and right there in the front is Lila. So she introduces herself. The King of Sharon is outraged that the Kingdom of Alekia only sent 2 knights, but Lila scolds the king and says, quit bickering, we're in danger, we should be lucky for whatever help we have. So before we leave, we pick up this great potion. So we have Lila, the other servant, and the king following right behind, and we're going to help them evacuate and find refuge in Alekia until things blow over with the monster invasion.
And right now that we'll be escaping the castle, hopefully we find no trouble at all. But however, we're gonna be greeted with an army of monsters, and oh, who's that?
Yeah, who's this red-haired fellow? It looks like we've seen him before. So we tell Lufia to get out of here with the other NPCs while the hero holds him off. So the man before us introduces him as Gades, the Sinistral of Destruction. Apparently he's come back. Yeah.
And he just one-shots us.
Yeah, they set up the scripted fight just to show that there's like a huge power dynamic between the two characters right now, so we're not really in a position to be fighting the Sinistrals right now. Fun little fact, in that scripted fight, Gades is coded to have over 65,000 HP, so it's pretty much set up so that it should be impossible unless you use Game Genie in order to like force yourself to level 99.
Well, to be fair, it is said that even if you try to use a Game Genie to reach like level 99, you're not even rewarded any items by defeating him. It's just the sake of just like a display of power from him.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, we noticed as soon as Lufia came back to Sharon to check on the hero, she yelled at Gades to just like back off, leave him alone, and interestingly enough, he actually listened. That was really weird. But yeah, we just had this conversation with Roman. He's kind of come to the terms with the fact that the hero is pretty much going to set out on his own adventure. He wants to defeat the Sinistrals and, you know, be the hero that Maxim was. So when Lufia requests a private conversation with Roman, he pretty much knew what was going to what she was going to say. So he pretty much just told her, you know, I know you want to be by his side. You should go. You know, I raised you since you were a child, and I think that it's time you left the nest and, you know, stayed with him. So we're picking up a couple of items we need along the way, some of which we can actually use, some of which we're just going to sell for some more money. So we see in the back room, this is Lila, so we're pretty much informing her that we're going to take her back to Chitam so that she can be reunited with her brother.
But before we actually leave the town, we're gonna be visiting back the barracks. So we'll be grabbing a cloth helm as a bit of a safety for the hero. And once we arrive, we'll have to be mashing through text as we have to talk with the NPC friend that we met, Lila's brother. And he's gonna be pretty much telling us where to go next.
Alright, so here's the reunion, as Ikaros had mentioned. So we could see in this scene that Lufia is overjoyed that the two siblings are reunited. So both Lila and Daniel are offering their thanks. And yeah, Daniel knows that, you know, the hero is looking for the Sinistrals, so he tells us that, you know, if we go to the seaport of Trek, which we were just at before, there's someone there who would be able to help us. Before we do that, I'm just gonna unequip some things that we can sell for money.
Yeah, we'll also be stopping at the inn to heal in case we need it, and to do some shopping for armor. We'll be selling the junk that we just unequipped, and for now, when it comes to equipment and weapons and everything, at no point in the run, Lufia will need a weapon since she's more like a spell heavy a character. She will require more of types of items, and the hero will get a new sword soon anyway, so there's no point of actually wasting money on a proper sword. All we need to buy was a little bit of this armor, that it's a cloth armor, and the robes. We will be equipping those alongside with the other items that we had, like the hairband and the bracelet, to make a, you know, before we talk to this guy, but we already talked to the guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the old man by the sea, yeah, he senses that there's some powerful energy coming from the hero, and we introduce ourselves as, you know, the descendant of Maxim. So, yeah, he's pretty much intrigued by the fact that we just fought Gades. So he introduces us to Ainea, who is his niece. And it turns out the old man is actually a knight from several years ago who used to be a knight who fought alongside Guy from Doom Island. So he tells his niece Ainea, just, you know, take these two beyond the eastern caves and let him you know, the special somebody. Who, you know, we can kind of get a clue of what they're trying to say, but...
Uh-oh, Lufia.
Yeah, I would have been turbo mad if they actually wiped out Lufia. I don't want to burn any revives. Or, like, backtrack to go to the inn again. But we're good.
Yeah, as we're traveling, we will try to be fighting most of, if not all, the enemy encounters that we're gonna be meeting along the way, just to farm an experience before the first boss. We'll still be using sweet waters every once in a while, but ideally we want to level up the hero to level 6 and to Lufia level 5 before we actually return. So as we are like traveling, the one enemy that we actually want to keep an eye on are the kobolds, because they have 50-50s of chance for dropping mid arrows, which are like a better weapon for us for the upcoming bosses. For now in these caves, we're just gonna be checking some few chests that will have cloth shoes that we're gonna give them to Lufia, and we will be also like getting another swing wing on the way.
Yeah, it looks like we're approaching level 6 and 5 as you were mentioning before, and unfortunately we haven't seen any kobolds yet. So yeah, we don't have to do any more grinding as soon as we get past where we need to go. So, we already picked up the cloth shoes, we gave that to Lufia, and we have another swing wing at our disposal. So we reached the cabin beyond the caves. And lo and behold, it's actually Guy from Doom Island, except he is now well over 100 years old. So the hero walks in, he introduces himself. I'm the descendant of Maxim. I just recently fought Gades. I want to learn more about the Sinistrals. I want to get as much help as I can. So at first, Guy is in denial that Gades even came back after he was defeated all those years ago. But Lufia pretty much attested to his story. So as soon as he comes to terms with that fact, Guy wants to get up and engage in the battle as well, but unfortunately he's too old, and I think that because of the alarm of what he had just heard, he pretty much had I think he might have like had a stroke or something, but unfortunately he passed away, and in his final breath he told us that we should seek out the elf Artia, who also fought on Doom Island. Artia is an elf, and because of that they tend to live a very long time, he might be able to help you. So go southwest to the city of Grenoble, and there's somebody there who may be able to tell you of his whereabouts. So before we leave, we pick up the short sword, which we can give to the hero. And we're going to use our stat potions.
Oh yeah, we have a little note on what are the stat potions. A great potion will be boosting max HP. The power potion will boost the strength. The speed potion will boost the agility. And the spell potion will be boosting the max magic points. Lastly we have the mind potions that are actually the magic power. So we will be distributing these stat potions through our party accordingly.
So we just came up on this green fellow right here, Aguro, and he introduces himself as the commander of the Larbanian army. He stopped by and trekked to investigate the monster invasion that happened in Sharon. But no shorter than we introduce ourselves, a bunch of demons have hijacked the ship and just started a fight with us. So Aguro joins our party.
And with these demon lords, each one have 48 HP and can either use regular attacks. Well, I was gonna point out that this is this water attack, or mirror, that it's gonna create barriers to reflect spells back to their casters. They can last for a variable amount of turns, like that one.
Yeah, we already got trolled by the far right demon.
Yeah. It is probably worth risking the mirrors to open with you on Lufia first turn, because it deals quite a decent amount of damage. But we'll be continuously following up with arrows for safety. In reality, we need to heal more than anything, or at least heal Lufia more than anything, because Hero and Aguro will be dealing physical damage, and Hero will only use healing spells whenever a party member falls below HP, like right now for Lufia would be a good idea. Especially, we do this because we really don't want anyone to fall down, since we're very limited on resources, or at least reviving resources. So, and the potions are kind of less effective in battles because these bosses can easily DPS you out. Like look at these. Like, no, Aguro, please don't.
Okay, so now we just need Hero to survive, and I think we're gonna be fine.
Oh, it's also worth mentioning that the Demon Lords can also heal themselves if possible. So we need to really like get rid out of them as fast as we can. Oh my God, Hero, don't die!
Thank you! Ha!
Oh my God!
Oh my God! By a single thread! Let's go!
Okay, so with the Demon Lords defeated, we'll be accruing enough experience for the whole party to gain at least 2 or 3 levels. This will perfectly set up for the next upcoming boss, so we're not gonna be needing any grinding for now.
Yeah, you'll see early on in the game that I'm gonna be messing around with the combat order so I can keep Aguro on the front lines, because he's pretty much going to be our Sasquatch of the party. He doesn't use any magic, he doesn't use any intelligence stats, but he hits very, very hard physically. So we want him on the front lines to be able to receive a lot of the damage and deal most of the damage.
He's the tank.
He is the tank, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so for now, after we say we're going north, we shouldn't have any problem to run away from battles if we ever encounter any. But if we even get to see any kobold, it would be worth fighting just for the sake of getting mid arrows. For now, we'll be... There we go! Let's go, kobolds! So for now, we'll be just getting like a couple of items here. We already got that miracle. Hopefully we can get the days ring, that it's gonna help out on the defense. And then we're gonna be encountering pretty much our next boss. Let's see.
Yep, we got the mid arrow. Very good.
Oh, we got nice.
So even just having 2 at our disposal for the goblin fight is gonna help us a lot. So I already think that we're in very good shape. So the only thing we have to worry about right now is whether or not the goblins, when they do their physical attacks, stack a lot of damage on a single party member, because we don't want to spend a lot of turns just healing over and over again or reviving.
I think Lufia... Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you need to heal Lufia a little bit.
Yep, everybody is good. Alright, Godspeed. Goblins can be a little trolly.
Yeah, all they do is regular attacks, but because they have quite an amount of HP, like they have like 120, and they can hit really hard, so we might just be on the lookout for our HP during the battle. Hopefully, well, since we got like some of the mid arrows, they're gonna help a lot, and once that we kind of like we get to use the mid arrows, we only just make sure that we like out damage them right now with the regular attacks.
Yeah, we were very fortunate just now because we were able to stack a mid arrow and the hero's first attack on the center. So I think that he's on deck to be the first one down. That's if we even continue targeting him. But everybody's health is still stable so far.
Yeah, they're receiving like one hit individually, so that's pretty good. Like they're not like just like attacking a one single. Oh my god, Aguro!
Okay, one down. That's already good, and we already have a heal set up for Aguro. All right, we're in good shape. We got this. We got this.
This was a very good RNG.
Yeah, this was a very good fight. This actually saved time over my PB.
Very nice.
Yeah, we saved 8 seconds over my PB. Yeah, nobody died. Everybody's still on schedule as far as their experience and level ups, so far this has been a good run. Even when we factor for a couple of moments of safety. So, yeah, we just took back the boat that got hijacked at the Northern Cave, so we alert the captain. So, of course, he's jumping for joy. He's really happy. So, in his spirit of gratitude, he says that, you know, if you want to go to Lorbenia, we could take you for free. So, we're going to take him up on that. And we'll be sailing southeast, and, yeah, it'll only take about a couple seconds, and we're right next door. So now we're going to be arriving back in Aguro's hometown, and just as we're getting ready to prepare to dock, Aguro's going to stop and say that, you know, I'm going to head back to headquarters, I'm going to inform the army about what's going on, and I'll meet you guys back later. So that leaves us free to do whatever we want in Lorbenia, so we're going to take Lufia shopping at the mall.
Because of course a woman needs to go to get like her low cortisol shopping spree.
Exactly. So we pick up a hidden mid-arrow along the way, and the stat potion here in the behind the sign, and we continue onward. So there's not really much shopping that we have to do right here, but we're going to go to this vendor that sells stuffed animals, and we're going to buy 10 stuffed pigs. So, I'm going to leave it a little bit of a cliffhanger why we got those stuffed pigs, but right now we just initiated a cutscene where Lufia is going dress shopping. So there's been a little bit of back and forth between her and the hero because one of the dresses ended up being 5,800 gold. So while she was in the middle of shopping and browsing the clearance sale, she got pretty much pickpocketed by this little boy who just ran out of the mall. But the hero caught that and is running after him and says, "Hey, I saw what you do there. Give back the gold you stole." So first he tries to deny it, and then he realizes he's cornered. So the hero says, you know, we should have him arrested by the army. But Lufia, you know, who just caught on what's going on, decides to show him some mercy, have some empathy, and just let him go with a warning. So we're going to stop at the inn, and we're going to talk to the innkeeper. And he gives us a little context on who this kid is. Apparently he's Lu, who happens to be the son of Professor Rel Shaya. He's a renowned scientist who's known for a lot of his technology and stuff. So he travels abroad in order to do his research and work in his laboratories, but he left his own son behind in Lorbenia to fend for himself, being the wonderful father that he is. So, who knows, maybe we'll see him again. Meanwhile, we catch back up with Aguro and says that he fills the army in on the situation. You know, the Sinistrals are coming back, the monsters are invaded, so we need your help. But unfortunately, the soldiers aren't really prepared for that sort of military battle, so they're pretty much bailing on Aguro. Apparently it's above their pay grade. So Aguro just says, you know, forget about it, I'm just going to join the hero and I'll fight alongside him.
Also worth mentioning, Siri, that because we got Aguro back to the party, he has to be on the front row for the battle, so...
Perfect, thank you so much for the reminder, I forgot all about that.
So once that we got our inventory here, we kind of focus more on awakens, shrieks, smoke balls, and power gourds. The awaken heals one target of sleep, the Shriek heals one target of confusion. The Smoke Ball will help us to instantly run away from battle. And the Power Guard will temporarily raise the attack power during battle. Because of all that, everything we got, we definitely had enough money, and we still have like some money to spare. We'll still be paying the toll and go into the ancient cave kiosk to set up a mission. To retrieve the treasure from the second floor. The only item that will be in the lookout for this ancient cave is something called a fairy kiosk, which can be found in the room that only women can access. Once that we get it, we'll be delivering that to a special NPC that it will give us information on where we have to go next. There we have a little Lufia.
Yeah, we don't even need to talk to the old man, the NPC, who needs the fairy kiss. All we have to do is just deliver it to him, and then we can progress the story. So we got the
sorry.
So yeah, we got the item that we needed, so we can just bail on the ancient cave. We're out of here.
One note that I wanted to point out about the ancient cave is that it's more linear than the one in Lufia 2. Because instead of navigating 100 floors with randomized items, you have a total of 7 floors that you can access, each of which are unlocked for every 5 levels you gain. So the gimmick is that each floor has a unique treasure with it. It can be sold for various amount of gold, and it's not pretty much a priority for us in this run. But at this point of the run, we really want to arrange our inventory in a way that they are easy to menu for in and out to battle. So we'll be having, in this particular order, the smoke balls, the sweet water, the mid arrow, the power guard, the stuffed pig, the miracle, awakening, and shriek. We won't be needing any more exploration since we're gonna be running away from most of the encounters, and we'll be just taking like the most linear path possible. So right now we'll be on our way.
When we spoke to the old man before, he says that I know someone who knows Artia, and he happens to also be his apprentice, so he's also a skilled fighter. And he resides within the northwest tower of, just northwest of town. So the game wants us to go here in order to progress the story. But we're going to take a quick detour first and go to the next 2 towns over. One, because we want to go to the village of Kairoth just to set up a checkpoint because we'll be going there later on. And we also want to visit Medan because we're going to do some shopping there for some armor and items that we'll need.
We'll be smoking, using the smoke ball. Sorry, we'll be smoking out of the way of the encounters, unless we find these particular enemies called the Rusards. We kind of call them the money chickens because these enemies will drop like 500 gold per kill, which, we kind of need a gold for inventory purposes. So simply fighting one should be enough, but I don't know if we'll be like all greedy and get to fight more. So after these, I was just gonna say after these purchases, we are gonna be going north towards these flowers to get those X potions and the X magic.
Yeah, the X potion and X magic sell for a lot of money, and that's going to help us afford the rest of the equipment that we need.
We're not this time around. We're not only going to be buying like armor equipment, such as shields, helms, and caps. We'll be getting some weapons, a spear for a guru, bombs, and mid arrows.
So yeah, we got 10 bombs and 18 mid arrows. and the spear for Guro. So speaking of which, let's equip everything we just got. Yeah, the hero is not going to need a sword anytime soon since he's pretty much going to be relying on arrows for the meantime. And before we leave, we're just going to do a quick safety save.
And we're going to be warping back to Grenoble.
Yeah, because Grenoble happens to be the closest point to the northwest tower that we need to go to right now, and that's where we're going to meet the apprentice.
Oh, and speaking of the money chickens.
Yeah, we don't need them as urgently right now, but we're going to be doing another big shopping spree later on, so it's a worthwhile investment. Okay, so now we've reached the tower.
Once that we're inside, we'll be continuing a very straight path forward. That room to the right will take us to a Sonic Ring, which is a decent stat buff for Lufia, but because of the East category of the speedrun, it's kind of not worth the time sink to actually go for it.
Yeah, like even if you do get the Sonic Ring, it's not really going to be too consequential in terms of how certain boss outcomes go. So the stuffed pigs that I told you about, those have the ability to knock an enemy asleep. So since we're going to be doing a 1v1 against the Apprentice, we'll see if we can knock him out for the whole fight.
No.
No.
Yeah, because of our current level, he would obliterate us casually, but because of these stuffed pigs, we're really trying to put him to sleep, so it's still RNG dependent whether or not the effect will actually land, as we have seen before that we are being missing a little bit. So when he wakes up in the mid-fight, sorry, if you wake him up like mid-fight, I don't think, well, we actually got knock him out before he could actually wake up, so yeah. that was good damage rolls for the mid arrows though, so I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, I think he woke up like 5 or 6 arrows in, so by that point it was just too late. He wasn't going to recover from that, so I knew to just stay aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so we're going to warp over to the next city of Kairoth, and that's going to be where we progress the story next. So we're just going to head northeast over here, and we're going to go to this this item shop. Not necessarily the shop, but for what happens behind the scenes. So we look in this bedroom, we see this little girl that's bedridden because she's sick, and her little boyfriend Mark is very concerned about her health. So we overheard a conversation in which he's about to go to Medan, because that city is famous for its Hope Ruby, which is basically a jewel that people wish upon in order to grant wishes. So, you know, people will go to the castle, they'll see the ruby, and, you know, they'll toss some coins into the fountains. You know, kind of like what you would do in the mall back in the day. So, he's going to the royal family in order to ask permission to borrow the ruby. So he says, yeah, the king denied his permission to take the ruby, so now I'm panicking, I don't know what to do, what's going on, and he runs off. But when we enter the castle ourselves, and go down this right-hand hallway, we overhear another conversation, and this one is between the Medan princess and a random guard. So she pretty much recaps that because of Medan's poor economy, the kingdom has pretty much been relying on the coins that are thrown in the fountain in order to drive revenue. But she's upset about the fact that the Hope Ruby is fake. It's only made of glass, so it's giving people false hope. and she would rather just see the ruby destroyed rather than continue living with this facade. So, I mean, there's not really much we can do about that now, so we leave the castle. But oh, what's this? It's Mark again, and he's running off, again, and he's being chased by a random knight. Apparently he stole the ruby. He decided to take matters into his own hands. He wants to rescue his girlfriend, Reina. So he's doing what he has to do. And honestly, I gotta respect that. So we do a quick safety save here, and we return to the village of Kairoth. And once we get there, he greets us at the entrance and tells us, Reina went missing. She disappeared, and I have no idea what happened to her. Apparently, witnesses saw her going north into the cave where a bunch of ghosts are. So we don't know what that's all about, but we're about to investigate. But before we do that, we're going to do a safety heal and put Aguro back in the front row.
Oh yeah, because things are going to get real spicy right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, right now we'll be entering what would be called the Phantom Cave. And right now we're approaching one of the most annoying and risky bosses of the run. So we want to be as prepared as possible. This will definitely include doing a couple of enemy fights here, just to make sure that we have some of the XP needed. Well, is it possible to try to do a minimalistic run, as in not trying to be grinding for these fights and just playing with this level right now, like the world record would do? I know that Tix feels more comfortable with having the hero at least at level 11, Aguro and Lufia at level 10. And for these upcoming fights, we'll definitely be spamming bombs for the entire enemy sets. That's why we got at least 10, so that will be more than enough.
Yeah, we don't need to do any more enemy encounters because the party is at 11, 10, and 10, so I'm pretty much at the level I want to be at, so that one enemy encounter happened to be enough, so we pretty much overbought some bombs, but that's okay because we still have plenty of money, and we could always sell them later. So, yeah, this is actually a relatively big cave to explore, but we're going to take the most linear path possible and just get the items that we need. And that miracle that we picked up is a very big one. I don't think it's been explained before, but miracles are items that you can't buy in shops, but they sell for a lot of money, like 2,500 gold. And they're so valuable because they're pretty much, you can only find them in random treasure chests all throughout the games in random dungeons, or if someone rewards them to you for whatever reason. And they not only revive a dead party member, but they can also restore them back to full health and MP. So it's fantastic for bailing yourself out of emergency situations and boss fights.
Yeah, Retry mode, or at least for this category, it's like the New Game Plus for the game. So you gain twice or even more times experience that you would do in regular, normal mode. So that's why this speedrun, it's pretty much faster than actual normal mode.
Yeah, absolutely. You cut about an hour and a half worth of grinding out with retry mode.
We have a question in chat about if Miracle equals Phoenix Down and Elixir at once.
Yes, that is a very good analogy. Yeah, you get the revival of the Phoenix Down and just the full HP and MP restoration of the Elixir, so yes.
Right now we'll be trying to get the ghost. Did we get the ghost ring already?
Yes, we should probably equip that on Guro. Thank you for the reminder.
And the monster ring?
We don't need the monster ring. That's more important in normal mode when you're intentionally looking to grind levels. Because if you have a Sweetwater active and you have Lufia equipped with the monster ring, you'll force an enemy encounter every single step you take for 16 steps.
Oh my god, yeah.
But you can reverse that effect by taking off the monster ring, or just, yeah. That's all you need to do.
Alrighty. So, we're coming up now to one of the bosses that we truly dread the most, because Okay, I will explain first who this little fella is. His cute little, the cute little name of this guy, it's called Phantasm. So, Phantasm, it's so dangerous that he has a varied moveset that includes Spark, which is an AoE fire spell that does heavy damage to the party. Drowsy, that is a coin flip chance for each party to fall asleep. The Confusion, that it's another coin flip for each party member to be confused. The regular attacks that just target like one single member, but it can do between 30 to 40 damage. And Shield to be raising his magic defense. So right now, as we started the fight, we wanted to cast Drain to nerf the defense temporarily and use a Power Gourd on Aguro. So he's a little bit buffed and we continue attacking. However, we get to see now that, you know, we just, our poor little hero fell actually asleep, so we have to wake him up. And the status effects from Phantasm can literally leave you as a sitting duck, as he's going to be trying to wipe out the entire party. And we don't try to use any magic against him, so we're just banking on him using shield as much as possible, because those are technically free turns to us. Although the best we can do here and the best we can hope, it's for Hero and Lufia to be using mid arrows and Aguro to use regular attacks, depending on that these attacks will be way higher depending if the Power Gourd is actually active. The enemy's HP overall has 650, so ideally it will take just 4 to 5 turns cycles to defeat him, but let's see. Sometimes he comes up with very, very annoying like combos, as in like putting the party to sleep and then insta-killing everybody. So right now, as we can see, we really need to help Lufia, so let's pray for good RNG here. If there's a moment that you want to bless the run, this is pretty much what we needed the most.
He should be almost dead, so hopefully just hang in there just a... Alright.
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
Poor hero, but we take those.
Yeah, we'll still take it. Like, the run's not over. I mean, it stinks, but the fact that we got through it on our first try is still massive. It means we're still well ahead of estimate.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because let me just say, if we took a death, then we would have to, it would drop us off back at Madonna, and I would have to reset the console so I don't lose 50% of my gold and be left with a bunch of dead party members. So...
And not only that, but we would have to go back all the way through the cave again, and yeah.
Yeah, we don't want that. So yeah, between navigating the cave, regaining all the levels from the enemy encounters with the bombs, and then refighting Phantasm and hoping that we win, that would have been about an 8 to 10 minute time loss.
Yeah. Okay, so right now we'll be warping towards Medan, I think. So, but we'll be using this cave, so we kind of avoid like a 20-second cutscene here.
Oops. Alright, so now we revived Hero. Yeah, that's another thing I forgot to mention. Even when you use the inn to do a full heal on everybody, it does not revive dead party members the way it would in a Final Fantasy game. You actually need to go to the cleric and spend money to revive someone, or use a revive item, like a miracle or revive. Okay, so now we find ourselves at the city of Belgium. and we're greeted at the door by 2 guards who are very hostile towards any outsiders because they've been dealing with their own problems. Apparently the crisis that's infected Belgium is the fact that there is a gargoyle who's been raining terror on the city, and they're forcing the village like every once in a while to sacrifice one of their female villagers. And the whole idea is that it's supposed to pay tribute to help revive the Sinistral Amon. So hence the name of the monster is called Follower, because he's a follower of the Sinistrals. So their most recent victim is a little half-elf girl called Jaren. So we just spoke to her childhood friend, who happens to be that NPC in the shack, and she says that her brother happens to be the gatekeeper where all the sacrifices take place. And you know, I feel really bad about this. She didn't have to volunteer. She didn't have to do any of this for us. So I want you to help go rescue her. So go talk to my brother, and he'll give you the key. So, you know, when we head south of Belgium, there's 2 caves that we can go to. There's the bottommost cave that we're going through right now happens to be where the gatekeeper is. So yeah, we just happen to go through this path right here, and you'll see that the path splits into multiple directions. So we could potentially pit stop to grab a high potion if we need to, but we're in a good place financially. We could just buy more if we need to, so we could just continue going forward through the northwest area. And we'll use the sweet water because I'm getting concerned by how many smoke balls I'm using. So we just follow this corridor, and that'll lead us to a cross-shaped room that splits off into multiple directions. So Icarus can provide a little more context on that.
Yeah, with this upcoming cross-legged split, we could grab a Civitar and some Brahms equipment from the other room. We technically don't have any practical use for these items. We just get them for the money, and then we can just right now after this we can just path our way south. To come across the guard that it's gonna give us the key for to reach the followers pedestal where the poor little Jering is actually captive. He's gonna be we're gonna be using escape, and then we'll be out of the cave. So
yeah, we use a swim to go back to Belgium, and we're gonna head northeast to the easternmost village of Serenigal.
Yeah, I mean, we could definitely take access to the pedestal right away, but for this detour, we need to definitely stock on more items. And in that particular town, we will not only will get more of the hidden items that will be definitely helpful for us, but we're gonna be purchasing big arrows, which they deal more damage than the mid arrows, and more high potions if possible. So
we're gonna get our high magic and miracle in this house right here, and now we'll do some shopping. Sell the pigs, sell the bombs. We'll use this mid arrow as a placeholder for when we swap into big arrows.
did we get the smoke balls?
Yes, 20 smoke balls, and then we fill the rest with high potions. 20, which is not bad. We can still get a couple more. Okay. 22 is enough. So.
Okay. Once that we are done with this, we can just warp back to Belgians. Head directly to the second cave, so we can go rescue Jering.
feel like I just used the Sweetwater 2 minutes ago. I'm still getting a bunch of encounters. Sometimes that happens. I think that's a mutual struggle between all Lufia runners. All 7 of us. Sometimes it just feels like, you know, you still get encounters every 3 or 4 steps and it just didn't do anything. So this is going to be a pretty straightforward path through the cave. We're not going to really be pit stopping for any chest grabs or anything like that. We're just going to cross this bridge and then just take the most direct path to the exit. Still going to be running away from every encounter we see. So yeah, even though it's unfortunate that the hero lost out on a bit of experience from that Phantasm fight, if that happens to be his only boss death, then it's not the end of the world. We could still work with this. If he lost 2 boss fights, however, then we might need to do a little bit of grinding to compensate. Alright, so this is the pedestal where the sacrifices take place, and we can see Jaren just lying there in the center. So, in the conversation between them, they're just remarking how young she looks because, you know, she's a half-human, half-elf. And it's, you know, kind of crazy that anybody would do this to anybody. And when we try to leave, that's when we get the cutscene where the monster takes her away. To be clear, there was no other option. That's the only way forward is to see her get abducted like that. It's not like we tried to ignore her or anything. Oh no! So we're, these pots that we're interacting with help you restore your HP and MP. And we're going to do a safety save here. And we'll be heading north towards the tower where Follower went.
Yes, we are gonna be entering up the tower. We want to take the teleporter that it's right on the northeast and just follow the hallways. We'll be entering this, then we'll be going south and grab the flash ring. This accessory will help the wearer cast stronger lightning spells and will also boost the magic defense against lightning spells. We will be giving this definitely to Aguro to make him tankier.
Yeah, the flash ring will definitely help Aguro's poor magic defense when there's the potential chance that the follower will start casting both in phase 2 of the battle. So that'll allow him to absorb a couple more hits without really worrying about dying. So before we fight him, we're just going to pit stop in these teleporters to pick up these 2 miracles. The west and the northwest. And follower is going to be on the far right. So the only damage we took was from the Toxic March, which is like 3 HP, so it's not really going to matter. So we can just start fighting him right now.
Right now for this fight, the follower has roughly around 900 HP, but we're gonna be opening again with drain, so we're gonna be nerfing his defense. Power guards will not be necessary since we're not going to be relying on normal attacks this time around. The entire party is going to be throwing big arrows to deal 80 to 100 damage per shot. Follower tends to be another risky fight since he can also incapacitate the party with his status effects, but as long as he's not trying to put the party members to sleep, he's more reasonable to deal with. Even one of his AoE spell called Frost, it's not as devastating as the Phantasm Spark, but what makes Follower easier or better to handle is that we have more high potions to recover from high damage rolls, since, you know, like his regular attacks would be between 40 to 50, so it's important to be healing immediately. We kind of have a little bit of an idea of how long is it going to take. or how HP he has left, because he's gonna be starting to cast Bolt, which we already got to see it, and he was trying to heal himself. So if everybody, as I am looking right now, it's pretty much on a very stable like a HP here, we can just keep the aggression up until he just falls.
Exactly, very well said. Yeah, he's at low HP, he's trying to heal himself, but he's too late because he's down.
Very nice.
So yeah, this ended up being a very, very good fight, and as a matter of fact, this is right on par with our PB. As a matter of fact, we tied it within a couple frames.
Yay!
So we pretty much tied the PB's follower split, so we're cooking here. Alright, so in the aftermath of this, Jaren wants to offer her thank you, and as an act of gratitude, she also wants to join our party. But we tell her that, you know, she's too young, she needs to really focus on taking care of her own life. And so we bid farewell to her, and she rewards us with a miracle on the way out. But in order to progress with the story, we're going to be coming across a forest maze, which will require an elf to guide us through. So we'll see if there's anybody there who's going to help us. So we're heading roughly in the direction of Serenagal, but instead of going north, we go south, and then just pretty much wrap around to the left again. And the cabin is going to be right there, where we'll potentially find our elf guide. So we'll pick up a couple of quick items here. And the old man says, the Lost Forest is just around the corner, but you'll need a guide. So who is it? None other than our wonderful friend Jaren. So they plead with the old man, hey, old man, she's too young. I don't think she'll really be of help to us. Is there anybody else? So, yeah, after a bit of an exchange, they decide that, you know, we don't really have any other choice, so yeah, she could join us. Jaren is, of course, overjoyed and gives the hero a hug, but Lufia is not happy about that. She ain't having any of it. She is pissed, and she says, no, she can't join her party. But the hero says that she's only acting like that because she's jealous. So, yeah, we got to see her crash out just now as she storms out.
I mean, she knows what she owns. I mean, she's just a little bit possessive. I don't blame her. But yeah, as we have Jaren in the party and we're in the forest maze, Jaren will be telling us where to go to guide us towards the exit. This section right here is fairly short and the encounter rate is generally low, so we will be pretty much out of this pretty quickly. And as we can see, I think we are pretty much out.
Yeah, I think we only had one encounter and we got out of it pretty quick, so just had to restart our sweet water and we were no problems. So we're just going to take this shrine over, and that's going to be our connector to the next continent.
Once we are outside of the shrine, we'll be heading directly north to pass through the town of Genova.
See, there's not really much we really have to do in Genova, but we do have to talk to this NPC that's right here in the basement where the pub is. So, yeah, we tell her that we're looking for Elfria, so before she's able to give us any information, we have to agree to buy her some drinks. So, yeah, she tells us that there's going to be 3 towers across these 3 islands, a red one, a blue one, and a green one, and atop each of these towers is a jewel that goes on a pedestal. So if you're able to find the jewels for each of these towers, then the path to Elfria will be open. So now the progression flag is active, so now we get to actually start hunting for them later.
But just before we leave this town for now, we'll be just stocking up more on high potions and smoke balls. We're gonna find this miracle over here in the sand, and then we're just making our way to the exit. So as we continue heading to the east and we go across the bridge, we're gonna be going through this beyond these mountains to the south, and we're gonna be reaching the village of Rouen, which for some reason is kind of surrounded by toxic marsh.
So yeah, we're just gonna damage boost through it and then use the inn to heal, and then do a safety save. If you stop and talk to the NPCs, they'll explain to you that, that used to be a thriving lake and now it just turned to toxic marsh. And it turns out that the culprit of all this toxic marsh is a phantom that lives within the red tower next door to this village. So we're gonna climb this red tower.
Since we're here presented with these multiple entrance, we're going to take this third entrance that will lead us directly to the boss. This is fairly linear corridors, so we're just going to follow the path, and the only fork that we're going to be finding will let us grab a high potion and a high magic. So they are kind of optional depending on how good is our inventory right now, but I think it would be a good idea to leave them.
Yeah, we stocked up on 27 high potions, and we're in pretty good condition financially, so... We haven't taken any damage on the way over here. We just have this potion, and we're ready for the ghost fight. This is going to be the last annoying fight for a good while, so we just gotta make sure we survive this.
Yeah, for Dark Ghost, we'll do the similar approach as we did for Follower by, relying on big arrows to attack and using high potions to heal as necessary. He does not have many moves, but the biggest concern is his AoE. Well, there you go. It's water, which it does between 50 to 70 damage to the whole party, so we have to be healing immediately after those fights. Those attacks. The only redeeming factor that we could consider for Dark Ghost is that he uses a spell called Ectoplasm that steals MP from party members, but because we don't need magic in this fight, it's essentially free turns to us. Regular attacks hit hard, but they still are easier to recover from. And his attempts to heal will be stronger. It will just indicate us that he's in low health and probably will die after one more round of big arrows.
Okay, got the ectoplasm, so that gives us a chance.
Come on, Dark Ghost. Just...
I'm gonna keep nerfing his defense along the way, so the big arrows do more damage. 110, very good roll. Yeah, I think we're good. Yep, he's starting to heal. He's getting desperate. Let's go! Oh, I thought we got him. Sorry, false alarm.
We still got another ectoplasm though.
There we go.
There we go. Nice.
Now, believe it or not, that was actually a really good RNG for a Dark Ghost fight. I think we only got like 2 waters, and we got some ectoplasms along the way. So we spent less turns healing, and we were able to just stay aggressive for the most part. So, believe it or not, we're actually saving 30 seconds over PB. We're still cooking.
Okay, so right now we have this water fairy thanking us for defeating that ghost, and it now can purify the water against Rouen, so we see that there's no longer a toxic marsh. Sorry. Right now we'll be going to get these items here, because this is the way that we are starting a fetch quest for now. Because our next pathway towards Lufia, we have to acquire 3 jewels and mount them onto these pedestals of these specific towers. So first we got the blue sapphire, and but it's a sapphire, but for some reason I want to imagine that it's because of a localization error. It's called the blue jade, but you know, everybody associates jade with being green, but this is actually a sapphire. So first we got that one, and then we're trying to travel towards this cave to acquire the actual Hope Ruby. So they say one of the NPCs will explain us here that they have been mining these caves for 70 years, and if this prize ruby can help save the world from the Sinistrals, he will be part with it. So, and we can then pick up the extra chest in the storage room before leaving, so we can sell those items for money later on. So as we grab our little loot over here, we'll be... Oh, nice. Nice surprise attack there.
Yeah, I just want to take a moment just to say that whenever you see a battle start and it says surprise attack, that's pretty much the Final Fantasy equivalent of a preemptive attack. So, yeah, that basically means that you have the first priority in the battle, so even if you want to run away, that's pretty much free. It's not going to reject you from trying to escape. So that actually saves a couple frames over using a smoke bomb.
So once that we got out of here, we're trying to go to the blue tower that is in the southeast from Genova. Here it is. Once inside, we're gonna take this set of stairs directly to the northeast to go towards the next screen. Then we'll be going southwest for the next set of stairs. After, I do believe that we'll be finding a fork that will be having a left and right path, and we'll be taking first the left one towards the pedestal, and normally sorry, I would just say that we're gonna be like going towards the pedestal, and then we will be backtracking towards the right side so we can reach the room containing the chest with the green jade. Yeah, normally we would do like we would jump off the edge, but because we have to get that jade, we won't do that right now. Yeah. We explained that pretty much, that it was maybe that the blue jade is probably like a wrong localization thingy, and we call it the blue sapphire. So once that we are jumping out, we will go now towards the green tower, but there's no convenient warping points for it, so we'll have to be walking all the way through it.
Yeah, thankfully it's not too long of a walk, but it would have been nice if we had someplace nearby that we could warp to and then just take a couple steps into the tower.
In this tower, we're gonna be going towards this side, because on the left side there is a green ring that it would be helpful for a Guring normal mode, but because we are pretty much good with money, we really don't need to worry about it, and we can just move on and place the jewels in the pedestal. Now we yeet ourselves out of the tower.
Exactly.
And we go towards the red tower again, so we can actually place the ruby, and then our little Jerry it's gonna warp us towards Elfria, which is the next town that we'll be encountering. Yeah, the red one it's called the Hope Ruby. Also, Trinton says good luck, Teeks.
Ah, thank you so much, Trinton.
I will be just placing the... Yeah, for a second I was like, why are you using a smoke ball?
Yeah, I thought I saw a little dialogue saying the Sweetwater ran out.
It did, but you were going to use a smoke ball.
Yeah, my head was turned and I saw it out of my peripheral vision. It's like, yeah, I think I should do that.
Okay.
Alright, so now we are in the village of Elfria, and at long last, we found Artia, the elf who fought alongside Maxim on Doom Island. And we are first greeted at the door by Mirka, or Milka, depending on the translation or localizer. And it happens to be Artia's niece. She actually does make an appearance in Lufia and 2 Rise of the Sinistrals as a little kid. But yeah, in this exchange between the hero and Artia, Artia explains that, there's nothing I can really do anymore because, even though I'm an elf, because after the battle on Doom Island, my eyes got injured and now I'm blind, so I'm not really in a position to battle. But if you're looking to defeat the Sinistrals again, I would advise you to get the Dual Blade, which is the sword that Maxim used, the legendary sword, and it sank at the bottom of Doom Island. So if you're looking to go underwater, perhaps you can make use of Professor Ralshia's technology. Maybe he can get you a submarine or something. So with that advice, we try to leave, and before we do, Artia passes his bow onto Jaren. He acknowledges the fact that she's an elf, and so he bestows it upon her, saying that, you can make better use of this than I would. So it seems like a pretty wholesome and honorable moment right here. But in the speedrun, it's quickly cut short by the fact that we're going to be selling that bow for money. It's in a casual playthrough, it's actually not a bad weapon. It does pretty good damage against groups of enemies. But we're not really using Jaren for her offensive attacks. That's not really where she shines. So we're better off just using her spells and any items that she can use in order to buff Hiro Inaguro, and just provide mirrors in order to protect the party against powerful spells. So Artia's bow is going to sell for 10,000 gold, and we're going to use that money to essentially max out our Sweetwater's smoke balls and get 50 more power gourds, and that's going to be enough items to help us for the rest of the game. And we can sell a couple other things as well in order to boost our gold.
Yes, we found that cave that there were any enemy encounters. We kind of saw some of the villagers from the nearby town of Ranks kind of struggling to reach the other side because there's apparently an invisible barrier obstructing their path. So there is a route that you can take past the invisible walls, and that's why we were doing this weird walking around, I guess. But those walls will be consistent every time that you enter that cave. So as we are hearing of Dell, and with all our items maxed out, I think we will have to try to... Yeah, that was gonna say that we have to reach Pyron, the engineer.
Yeah, Pyron is in the throne room of this castle, and you can see him flirting with the princess. So after talking to the old NPCs in the left-hand side, they inform us of the fact that the bridge is broken. So Pyron tells us that, yeah, I can fix the bridge, but I'm going to need you to fetch my assistant so he can help me out. He's on his lunch break right now, so if you go to the village of Leiden, which is southeast of here, and bring him back here, we can pretty much get to work. And for the record, Leiden happens to be the culinary capital of this game's world. So you're going to see a bunch of aspiring chefs that are going there to study cooking. You'll see a couple restaurants and stuff like that. In the beginning of the game, when Hiro was hanging out with Lufia in the Profeya flower garden, the hero actually made a joke saying that Lufia was using special herbs from Liden in order to make her cinnamon pie taste better.
Okay, and since we're here, like fetching the assistant, he will be leaving towards Odell immediately, leaving the poor chef sad because he bailed before eating the dessert.
My customer left before dessert. I need to study harder. Poor guy. Hope he paid the bill at least.
Now we're gonna warp back to Odell, and then Pyron's gonna ask us to go back to the cave and check the condition of the bridge.
So he's not even gonna go there with us, lazy man that he is. So yeah, I'll get my tools ready, so you go to the bridge and check it out for me. You know, just snap a photo of the bridge on your smartphone and text it to me. So yeah, even though we're not really deliberately going out of our way to fight any enemies, I did want to take a moment to heal the party just in case we get bad ambush RNG where they try to attack us before we try to run. Alright, so here's the broken bridge. Oh, the suspension is broken. Okay, that's all we need to know. We'll go and tell Pyron, I guess. But before we go back to Odell, we're just going to go to this cavern right here, because there's a chest that has a yellow ring, and that's going to be a nice little piece of equipment for Hero later on, but we don't need it right now, so we take this teleporter and we enter Professor Railshire's first lab, Platina, or Platna. And we don't do anything here because the professor is not here, but we at least set up the checkpoint to work through it later.
Right now we want to go inform Pyre on the situation, and then we'll now take their tools to go to the bridge.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real, this is probably one of the least interesting parts of the game because it's just a bunch of back and forth fetch quests. But thankfully this one in particular only lasts about 4 minutes. Alright, so we got Pyron and his assistant to get off their lazy butts and go to the bridge. So we're gonna meet them back there, and they're gonna start building. And everything's gonna be no problem, right? In theory. We'll see.
Right. I see them. I don't see them building though.
Yeah, I don't see them either. So we talk to Pyron, and he says, "Can you go to that cliff up top and watch us as we do the repairs, so you can scout for any potential mistakes and just check the accuracy of our construction?" And I'm sure so many people who played this game and got to this part, after doing everything else up to this point, was probably like, "Bruh, really?" But thankfully, when you escape the cave with the spell, it drops you off at the cavern you need to go in order to reach the cliff pretty easily. So we can just pick up these chests right here. I'm sorry?
Yeah, I was gonna say, at least you can get some items, good items from here.
Yeah, the wind shoes and iron helm are going to sell for a lot of good money. Glass cap is an old helmet that we gave to Lufia earlier in the game, around the Phantasm chapter. So it's only going to give us like maybe 100 gold or something, but it's okay. And can I also say, this split ended up being super fast. We minimized quite a few enemy encounters compared to like the average run, so we actually saved about 34 seconds.
Once the bridge is now repaired, we can now cross it and navigate through the multiple caverns to reach the other side. So
exactly,
we're going to do that in a moment.
So when we see this split in the path, we're going to take the earliest one to the far east, and then go down the set of stairs past this little tunnel. And the bad ambush RNG, no! And of course he has to use Dread, which is an AoE that nerfs your defense. Not that we're going to be fighting him or anything, not that it's going to matter.
But AoEs will always like make you lose 7 seconds.
Yeah, that's one of the tedious things about this game. It kind of follows the Dragon Quest formula of using the spell animation multiple times individually for each party member, rather than just doing it all as one group. I will note, however, that in Lufia 2, they actually corrected this. That was actually one of the quality of life changes, just to make it all like all at once. So now we're coming up on a door that's sealed by magic. So you can see the hero, Jaren, and Lufia all attempting at once, but Lufia is the only one that's successful. So of course she's cheering, she's very happy for herself, and meanwhile Jaren's a little frustrated.
Yeah, on the door that it was sealed, there were like these words saying "Lefayas, Lafayas." That's actually Spanish. I actually recognize, the phrase myself, and it could be interpreted as something about that if you fail to something or to someone, you overall fail your mission or your quest, pretty much. So it's kind of saying like, if you fail, you fail.
So we reach the village of Arus, and immediately Lufia is in love with this town because there's a beautiful garden right outside the mayor's manor, and the Prefea flowers are in full bloom, so she's having the time of her life, she's wandering around. So we can see this little exchange where Jaren is impressed by the fact that Lufia and the hero have known each other since childhood, and admits that she's a little jealous of that fact because she low-key kind of likes the hero as well. But we talk to this old man over here, and he's impressed by the fact that Lufia's magic was strong enough in order to open up the door. So she advises the party to go westwards to the Tower of Grief, and there's an old man named Flake who would be able to help you.
So as we're heading towards the Tower of Grief, we're gonna be taking this cave, which is pretty short and straightforward. You just have to walk through the toxic marsh, and pretty much you're right there. One could mostly say the same for the tower itself, with the exception of a few notable highlights, since as you enter you are greeted with these 3 ways split in the path. But if you take the right hand side, there's a chest with a purple ring that it's a nice stat buff for Lufia. A staff buff for Lufia. But we will be skipping in this speedrun, since we're having like a very good pace, honestly. Like everything is going on like completely smoothly. It is though a very good backup just in case if Lufia misses out on some level ups due to a boss death, or if we can need some gold and we can sell it to make up on a few thousand gold. But since we meet up with Flake, we're pretty much like caught up to everything we need to do.
Yeah, so once again, Flake just notices, like, among the party members, I sense great powerful energy coming from you. And he comes face to face with Lufia, and he unlocks her true power, her full potential magic-wise. And by that I mean he pretty much raises her max MP by 10. So yeah, that's the plot buff. So before we leave, we explain that we're looking for Professor Railshire, and he says, you just missed him, he went back to his lab. So here he is, the imposter of Professor Oak. I think that's actually a Pokemon card too. I remember getting that when I was 10. But yeah, he introduces himself, I'm Professor Railshire. Lo and behold, check out a lot of my gadgets and technology. Here's some cool things that I was able to make. If you take this tonic, you'll be twice as strong. We actually turned someone into a lizard, and we don't know what happened to him. Oh, and if you take this little antidote or this potion, you'll be able to grow your hair out longer. So of course, Lufia interjects and says, "No, Jaren, don't take that, because your hair will never be as pretty as mine." So there's some in-party bickering going on. So I kind of like how the developers really added a lot of personality to these characters. I really think that the a lot of the inter-party conversations are really interesting. For such a simple game, it really has a lot of charm. So yeah, we were talking about how we need to get the dual blade under the sea. So Professor Shia introduces a boat called the Falcon that has the ability to travel normally on the surface of the water and go into whirlpools where it can go underwater. Oh, but what's this? Oh, hey! The boat's leaking. What's going on? Pipe down! I'm getting soaked! So the party confronts the professor, and they say that, yeah, the boat needs a little bit of work. So he says, yeah, I'll be able to repair it, but I'll need to go to my other lab next door in Carbis, which is directly west of here. So they're saying, like, oh, I think he just ran away on us, so we're gonna go after him. So congratulations, guys, we have a boat. We can use whenever we want. And the sea creatures are being ruthless.
Well, we're almost right there. We're almost... Yeah, there we go. We've managed to go towards Carbis, where it's the second laboratory. Now, as we're going to be approaching again to the Professor Shia, we're gonna have instructions to go fetch Cooper.
Yes, Cooper is Professor Shia's assistant. So Aguro interjects and says, why don't you go look for him? We're getting tired of these fetch quests. So, you know, the hero and Jaren are like, you know, don't be rude. So,
yeah, then... Sorry, I was just gonna say that we're just gonna try to fetch him since... Where he is again?
Yeah, we just go directly west of where we are at Carbis, and we're gonna come across a seaport town called Baku. And Professor Shia says that there's someone there, there's a cleric there at the church who knows who Baku is, so if you talk to him, he may know his whereabouts. So...
Oh, you mean that he knows who Cooper is?
Yes.
Baku's the town.
Oh, words are hard today, I'm sorry. But yes, he knows who Cooper is, so he tells us that he just went treasure hunting in the ancient cave. He went to the 5th floor, so you'll be able to find him there. So back to Grenoble we go.
Yeah, we have to not only work back to Grenoble, but because we're not at the level that we need to access the 5th floor of the ancient cave, we will have to do a little bit of convincing here.
Yeah, we have to talk to the guy behind the desk and ask him to make an exception for us because there's something important that we need to do. So he says, yeah, you can go. It's fine. Thank you.
Yeah, we take this short and linear path, like through the cave, I guess, toward the 5th floor. And all we have to do right now is to be grabbing like certain items, which is gonna be a kite shield, a miracle, a frost ring, and a gold pawn, while leaving everything else alone. And then we're gonna find out Cooper and teleport out.
see, we'll get this kite shield over here. We'll skip the chest in this room over here. And the rest of the goodies will be in the room where Cooper is. Yeah, we skipped these two chests over here because they're empty, so why waste the frames? So we say hello to Cooper. He tries to use his escape to bail out of the cave, but it's broken, so we use Jaren's magic instead, so we're going to take him back to Carbis. Alright, 2-second time save on PB.
Nice.
Alright, so Cooper and Professor Shaya are yapping, and they explain to us that if you want to repair the submarine, you're going to have to go to the Fargo Islands and collect 7 pieces of alumina, which is, I guess, a kind of metal that's unique to this game.
Yeah, now, once we're leaving Carbis, we're definitely going to be boarding the Falcon and warp towards Rouen, and sail directly east until we reach the seaport of Mars. We don't need to actually be there, but it's a good central location to reach the other places we need to go. Especially the Kingdom of Herat that can be found on down the river.
Yep, so we enter Mars and we leave, so that's our warping point for later. So we just follow this river down, and Herat's right there. So yeah, it seems like a pretty random place to go out of nowhere, since nothing in the story really hints that we need to be here. But we talk to the king regardless, and he tells us, you know, I'm a very picky eater. I've tried many meals and there's nothing that's been able to satisfy me. So if anybody's able to feed me something very delicious, I will exchange in return all the gold and all the jewels that are in my treasure vault. So
and among those, sorry. I was just gonna say, among of those jewels and treasure, that's actually 1 piece of our alumina.
Exactly. So it works out perfectly. So we return back to the Kingdom of Leiden, which as we said before, is the culinary capital of the world. And this man in red that we're going to be coming up on is the Wizard of Flavor, the Wizard of Taste, something like that. So, yeah, he apparently knows who King Herat is, and he knows he's notorious for his picky appetite. So he says, yeah, I can be able to help with that. I can create a recipe that can turn virtually any kind of food, no matter how appetizing or unappetizing, and make it delicious. So I can basically mask its flavor to make it something that anybody can enjoy. But he says that one of the main ingredients that we need in order to make it is something called the purple newt. So in order to get the purple newt, we have to travel to a cave that's a little bit out of our way. It's like a 10-minute fetch quest. But the good news is we can skip that. We don't have to do that. Because on our way into that house that we did just now, we got an item called a grilled newt from the bookshelf. So you can trick the game into thinking that the grilled newt is actually the purple newt. So we have what we need, so we can return to the Kingdom of Herat, and then talk to the chefs there. And then they're going to prepare the meal for us. So here we are in the kitchen. And this is the magic flavor that the Wizard of Leiden talked about, so let me whip something up real quick. Let me bring in my sous chef. We skipped this part in the game, but there's actually a cutscene that you can do in Herat where the chef pretty much trolls the party members, where Jaren actually does a sample tasting of some of the food, and she says it's delicious, up until the chef reveals that it's slime. So there's actually a cutscene that we skip where Aguro and Lufia are calling her slime elf and make her cry.
Oh no.
So the hero is telling them to knock it off, and Lufia gets mad at Hero for defending her and scolding her. Okay, so we make it to the treasure room. So we're gonna open every chest with the exception of 4. So there's our Illumina. So a miracle mixed in there, very nice. So
Yeah.
we're gonna actually travel to the Fargo Islands and get some more pieces of Illumina, but we have one place that we need to go first, and I'll let you take it away with what's the big surprise that's coming up.
Yeah, since we finish our fetch questing here at, we're gonna be doing a small detour so we can do our last grind of the game. I know, grind, RPGs, million of enemy encounters. However, we will have to only do 3 battles, which we can force this level grinding through our RNG manipulation. So right now, Tix is gonna be setting up this very so-called the red core manipulation, which we're gonna be trying to encounter these enemies called the red cores that they are functionally similar to the metal slimes in Dragon Quest. It has roughly 100 HP, but it has a very high defense, so it's kind of tough to kill, and it could run away pretty easily. However, if we defeat one, we'll yield a ton of experience and gold, and could actually allow us to go from level 16 to 34 in less than 10 minutes. So right now, in order to set it up, first, as we could see, we sailed to this town of Epro, and we purchased 28 X-bombs from the weapon shop. Then we unequip all 4 party members except the carbo helm for the hero and the silver robe for Lufia. Then we're gonna be using we use the sweet water before saving the game at the cleric. Now, as he resetted, he mashed A to reopen the save as quickly as possible, and now he's following this predetermined path to the Fargo Island cave. Every step that we take here, it's very intentional, so this will set up the encounter on a very predictable tile, like that. So there's 2 of the red cores. We're gonna be using X-bombs to them. This first battle is usually free. However, they get harder to kill without any of them fleeing because enemies gain a level for every 5 levels that you gain. One of the reasons that we unequip the party members is because we can help to decrease an invisible weight stat, which ties with their agility and helps influence turn order. So this will allow us to go at least 1 or 2 full turn cycles bombing the red cores without them doing anything. So with one of these done, you'll see...
Behold!
From levels...
The longest level up screen in the game. Enjoy it while you can. So the hero's gonna gain at least like 11 or 12 levels, Lufia is gonna gain like 10, and Aguro and Jaren are gonna gain like 9 or 8 levels together. So enjoy the beeping ASMR.
The mashing ASMR as well.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll be rinsing and repeating this battle until at least we have killed 5 out of 6 red cores in sight. We want Jaren to be at least level 29 before the end of the grind. So this is another moment that we have to pray for good RNG here. We have to pray for good RNG because this influences encounters and enemy behaviors. The RNG encounters and enemy behaviors really are based on an internal timer from the moment that you power on. So we'll be doing some delays in the 2nd and 3rd battles before the 1st and 2nd turn cycles. So this is done to select the frame, which will give us a specific damage rolls and hopefully prevent the red cores from running away.
Oh no!
It is not... Oh my god!
I messed up the boat!
Uh-oh.
That's okay. It doesn't lose too much time. We could always retry it. Yeah, even
So-
the position of the boat and the way that we board it also matters for this manipulation.
A little bit of a techie struggle here, but we're good. We're good. So let's pray that the red core does not go away. Okay.
Coming
Let's
up
pray for
in
good manipulation.
3, 2, 1.
There we go. Okay. Let's pray for red cores 3 and 4 to be
18.
defeated.
14. Oh, 104.
16.
Oh. Should still be good, I
Okay.
think.
Come on.
Good rolls. No!
No, this one ran away.
Ah, you stink!
Okay. In this upcoming fight, we really need to get like the 2 of them. Remember to get the boat on location.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you kind of forgot to sell certain items.
Yes. That's good. We just need the sonic heals.
Okay. Right. After the second battle, we kind of needed to buy the Grand Blade for Aguro, the Sonic Shoes, and the Sonic Heals for Jerry. So, round number 3 of Red Course. Let's pray that they do not run away. Because even if they decide to run away, we'll try to do this manip one more time because it is really important to get like to the level that we need, so we can complete the rest of the game without any issues. So
Yeah, we still need to kill at least 5 red cores.
yeah, we have 3, I think.
Yes.
So
So if we kill these 2, we're still fine.
okay. Not liking these damage rolls.
Yeah, me too.
That one was good.
Yeah, that was better. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, let's go.
Yes, let's go.
We're back in it.
Crisis averted. Okay, now that we finish our grind, our longest level up screen here, we'll be rearranging our magic order to make our newly learned spells easy to menu. So we're gonna have champion in the first slot for the hero. We're gonna have bolt and boost on Lufia's side. And then we have boost enduring side pretty much. And we'll be now re-equipping our party with their weapons, boots, and accessories. There are still some shields and helmets that we need to buy back in April, but we'll have the money for it later. It's not that urgent because the upcoming boss is a little bit easier.
Very well said. So now that we have our equipment, we have all the items and our magic in the slots that we need them to be, we can continue our quest for the Illumina. So we just lowered the switch in order to open up that door. And we're gonna re-enter. And the reason why we warp out and re-enter like this is so that we can cut out on the amount of steps that we need to take since we move so slowly in dungeons. So now we take this teleporter, we skip this chest right here because it's just a smoke ball. But we're going to pick up the next chest because it has the High Days ring, which is a good accessory for Jaren. And now we enter this far right door right here, and that's going to open up another switch to unlock this door. And that's going to be where we get our first Illumina in this cave. So that's accessible by just crossing over to the far left. And then we wrap around. Yes, we do want to get those two chests. There's some, I think there's one of them has a miracle. And we warp out again. And we're back. This time we actually go to the bottom of the stairs. And then there's going to be one more chest that we get in this area, and that's going to give us the Silver Rod, which is normally a weapon for Lufia. But because she's not going to be using any regular attacks in this run, that's going to sell for good money.
How annoying that you just used the sweet water and 2 steps away and poof,
Exactly. Classic luck. Of course, the red core that ran away is back to rub it in my face. So yeah, we're going to be coming back to this door that's at the bottom of the stairs, but first we want to go up top, because at the top of the stairs there's actually 2 pathways that the teleporter can lead you to. So we want to take this one first. There's going to be some nice pieces of equipment here, including 1 piece of Illumina coming up. There's Illumina.
Trolling!
The trolling, yes.
Speak of a very, very good timing there.
Indeed. I love how the chest opening got cancelled by the Sweetwater dialogue.
Yeah. Like you opened up the chest. That was so weird. Oh my god.
Alright, so we hit the switch, and then we're going to go back up those tall stairs that we just saw, and the teleporter is going to drop us off somewhere else. And that alternate location is going to be where our last Illumina is in this island. So after we collect it, we're going to be at 4 out of 7. So now we have, oh yeah, we're gonna warp to Mars and get our boat back, and then we travel northeast beyond this island to where the boat is. I wonder who that belongs to. Well, basically that boat belongs to a man named Brant. He's an NPC who's basically doing some treasure hunting himself, and apparently he got himself lost in this cave. Keyword treasure hunter, definitely not a thief. So yeah, we don't need any of these chests over here, but here's an Illumina right here. So that's number 5. Yeah, we can get a revive over here. We could sell it for 250 gold. Why not? I love how there's that chest here and it's just a decoy to fall off. I don't even know if you could actually get it. But yeah, here's our friend Brant, who is also apparently looking for Illumina. So because we rescued him, he's gonna warp us out of this cave. Yeah, we did some collection out of order, so he's actually telling us the locations of the Illumina pieces. Meanwhile, we got them all. So he gives us his last piece of Illumina as a way of saying thank you. And he says that he's going to travel back to the city of Mars so that he can marry his fiancée. So, yeah, there's only one more piece of Illumina that we need to get. We have 6 out of 7. And we're going to go to a city called Linz, and beyond the city of Linz is a cave that has our last piece. But in order to get to this town, we're obstructed by a dungeon called the Tower of Light. Now, this is a pretty long and elaborate dungeon, so yeah, it's very easy to get lost if you're just going out of your way exploring, so I'm just going to say that the route through here is just northwest through that staircase and then back down south through this door.
He said through this door.
Exactly. And then we go northeast through this passageway, up north. How are we looking health-wise? I think we'll have Jaren boost the party a bit. Make sure we're at full health. We're gonna use our stat potions. Spell potions on Jaren, mind potions on Lufia, speed potions on Hero. We have the Combo Sword and Grand Blade. So yeah, everyone has what we need for the upcoming boss fight. Here.
Nice enemy encounter, like coming out of the stairs.
Yeah, that happens unusually commonly, so sometimes I've gotten Sweetwater dialogue boxes entering a town. So yeah, we meet this guy at the top of the tower. We want to explain who Guardian is.
Well, Guardian technically is one of the easiest bosses in the game. He has 1400 HP, but because we have very nice weapons and resources, we're just gonna like be completely aggro towards him. He should be taking away like in 3 or 4 turn cycles, and he only has like 3 movesets, which is Flame, Blizzard, and Dread. But Dread, well, this one, yeah, like it nerfs the parry's defense. But we're just gonna be constantly using the regular attacks, bolts, and Jaren will be giving the power chords to Hero and Aguru to boost boost their attack and boost and heal them when needed.
And there you go. We didn't even need to heal at all, and we were just able to take him down in like 3 turn cycles.
Nice.
So I just want to say we saved an enormous amount of time on this Guardian split. I'm actually only 40 seconds behind PB, so for a marathon, this is miraculous. So we're in this cutscene right now. The Guardian that we just fought happens to be a disciple of Amon, so we managed to catch him just as he was attempting to revive Amon. So even though we beat Guardian, he evidently was successful in his endeavors, so Amon and Gades are back in this world, unfortunately. So they pretty much reconvene and say, yeah, we need to get that Illumina, we need to go underwater with the submarine, we need to get our last piece of Illumina. So we just picked up a light key, and that's going to allow us to exit through the back door and continue beyond the tower. So now we head northeast towards the village of Linz, as we were talking about before. And we're not really going to be spending any time through here. We only enter this city so that we can swiftly pass through it, through this basement.
Yeah, with all 7 pieces of Illumina, we're gonna be upgrading the ship so we can get an actual submarine without any issues.
Don't need to get any more treasures here except the Illumina. So we take the shortcut through the hole.
We said we're gonna take the Illumina.
And warp our way back to Carbis. So hey, Professor, we have our 7 pieces of Illumina. What next? Oh, never mind. Apparently, Professor Shia went to the pirate island alone. Apparently he was informed that his son, Lou, was captured by pirates, so he went there to rescue him himself. So that's the most fatherly-like we've seen the Professor all game.
But before we go rescue poor little Lou, we're gonna be purchasing the new equipment that we're gonna need for our next fight. We're going to want to be thoroughly prepared for this because there are many different ways in which it could potentially go wrong. So here we're gonna get a carbo shield, another carbo helm, 2 carbo caps, another silver robe, and a silver wrist. And we're gonna be equipping everybody with them, and
yep, we pretty much got it. And we're going to do a safety save because the boss that's coming up is going to be diabolical, to say the least. Oops.
Yeah, to reach the pirate island, we will have to come back over here to Mars and travel towards the northwest. Once that we arrive to the continent, we have to get into the tower that will be taking the path that it's on this left side and follow the path in the corridors accordingly. When we see the first fork in the road, we're gonna be taking the door on the right, and on the second fork, we're gonna be taking the one on the center.
So yeah, to the right, then the center. If you take the one on the far right, then that gives you a treasure that gives you a chest to an item that we don't need. And if we take the far left, that's going to be where Professor Shai is being held in jail. But we're here to rescue the kid first.
Yeah, right now as we are going to be navigating through this long hallway, we're gonna be encountering these floor switches.
Yep, here they are.
They have to be pressed in a specific order. Which is gonna be northwest, southeast, southwest, northeast, and we're gonna be preparing to Bosun and Pirates fight.
Yes. Yeah, this is one of the worst boss fights in the game. Even with like the higher levels and a lot of more improved equipment, he's still really nasty.
Yeah, this has historically ruined many runs. We have Bosun on the left that has 1300 HP, and Pirates on the right that is 3500 HP. Both have the ability to inflict status effects on the party with moves like Sleep, Arrow, Puzzle Arrow, Foul, and Roar, which can sleep and confuse the party. What's worse is that Pirates especially likes to be very spammy with the attacks. Bosun is the logical one to get rid of because he's susceptible to high damage, and he frequently throws his stats, buff, and high potions on pirates to keep him healed. And for the most part, our attacking combo is gonna be Hero Naguro with the regular attacks, Lufia with Bolt, and Jering boosting or buffing up the party. Sadly, we're being put to sleep a lot, and somehow, okay, we're gonna try to awake the whole party in order to keep the aggression. But if we're continually, if we manage to not get put into sleep, you can keep up with Pirate's damage and with the Jaren's boosts. However, we really don't want to be spending 2 or 3 miracles on this fight in case anybody dies. The best way to see if we enter the next phase or that he's getting lowered in health, he will be spamming a powerful AoE spell called the Storm, which is essentially a high-level water attack that would do massive damage. And at this point, we really need to double heal with both Lufia and Jering. Okay, so... No! Not the X-bomb towards the party!
No! Jaren, you're not helping. Yeah, I need to keep the heals up. We're several minutes into the fight and Bosun's not dead yet. This is kind of getting annoying. At least he's not doing. At least Pirates is not doing too much damage-wise, and at least Jaren will wake up after she hits herself. Okay, Bosun down.
There we go. Not this. This sucker over here has to go down too.
So yeah, we could see that the Hero and Aguro's damage have really gotten bad, so we need to upgrade their stats with some power boards again.
What do you mean X-bomb?
Wait, did I say X-bomb? I meant power board.
No, I mean, I saw the Pirates was using an X-bomb, and I was
sorry.
like, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Oh, I thought you were responding to something I said. My bad.
No. A hero.
God, this guy's the worst.
Okay, at least Jering is. Come on. Jeez.
Alright, at least... Alright. Did I run out of awakens? Oh my god.
Maybe he's in his last. Come on, let's go.
Oh!
No! Aguro!
Bro, really needs to stop. This really needs to stop. I mean, at least if you're gonna put anyone to sleep, at least leave Lufia alone. Because at least she can, like, do a full awaken spell. This guy's the worst. He really is the worst. I was genuinely beginning to think I might have a chance at PBing on this run, but nope.
Pirates say nope.
Of course, Aguro wakes up as soon as I use the Waken spell.
Come on, come on.
Alright, at least Aguro's doing good damage again, and he's sticking to regular attacks, so that's good.
One more damage. One more damage round. One more damage round.
Okay,
that's good.
Alright,
Come on.
everybody's held is stabilized, so even if he starts using Storm anytime soon, we'll be prepared. Although I want to give an X Magic to Jaren. Yep, there's the storm.
There we go. Lufia!
Alright, at least now we can keep up a consistent line of defense against the storms. Lufia will be back at full health, and Jaren has a boost on the way. So we can survive this. Everything is fine.
It's fine. We're all fine. Stop with the storm! No!
Bro's really killing my stock of miracles.
Yeah, this fight has been rough.
There we go. Jeez Louise.
There we go. At least, oh my god, everybody's gonna level up at least. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Yeah, at least the level schedule is relatively decent. The hero is still one short compared to a typical run, but we're still surviving. Yeah, unfortunately we lost 3 minutes on that run compared to PB, so let that be a telltale sign of just how trolly and how awful Bows and the Pirates can be. And even if he like killed us and we had to do that fight all over again, that would have been like a 10-minute time loss.
Yeah.
Because we would have had to climb the tower again, and we would still have to chip away at his HP a lot, since, you know, there's 5,000 between the two of them.
But with Luna, with us, we're now going to search his father to get him free up from the jail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just got the pirate key, so now we can unlock Professor Shia's jail cell. Oh, wrong way. Brain was on autopilot. The sad part is I just explained that the left side was where we needed to go. Oh, fun little fact about that enemy that we just saw, the knight on the horse, called the Steel Lord.
You didn't get the key.
We have the pirate key.
Oh, sorry. So you went into the chest. For nothing, then.
Yeah, we had to. Yeah, we had to go to the other fork in the road that's on the left, and yeah, my brain is still a little scrambled after that Bows and the Pirates fight. You'll have to excuse me. But before we save the professor, we're gonna get the heavy ring, and that's gonna be Aguro's final accessory. So basically, the heavy ring already allows you to raise your attack stat by like 80, so he's going to hit even more like a tank than before. But in exchange, he also raises his weight stat by an enormous degree, so it's going to slow him down. But considering that Aguro's already a relatively slow character, it all checks out, so it's not really going to be all that consequential. Like, he'll still be able to get his turns off in a reasonable fashion. So yeah, after we get Aguro's final weapon, he's gonna be all good to go for the rest of the game. So we see this exchange here between Professor Shia and Lu. So they're basically just reconciling after the fact that, you know, they've been out of contact for a very long time. So reluctantly, Lu decided to agree to go back with his father and, you know, try to rebuild their relationship again. So he's back at the lab. We love to see it. And on top of that, more good news. We actually get to repair the Falcon now. So we have a submarine, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we did indeed fix it already. So now all we have to do is sail directly north of Carbis and go slightly east, and we're going to come across our first whirlpool. And that whirlpool is actually like south of the island of Sachet, which is another seaport town. But we're not going to go to the town, we just want to go straight underwater. And that's where we're going to find Doom Island at the bottom of the ocean. So we're finally going to get the hero's ultimate weapon, the Dual Blade. Oh yeah, I totally hear you on that, Lemon Kitsune. Speaking of characters that hit like an absolute tank, it's a shame that we don't see Dakar in this game. And we really get to make use of the Dakar Blade for like a couple minutes in that one tower before we actually part ways with him, for reasons I won't spoil. So yeah, we don't need to pick up that chest over there, that's just a potion, a basic potion. So we come out of this this whirlpool, and there's the Fortress of Doom. In shambles. But in the dialogue it says, "There's air in this fortress? This feels strange." So we're going to take the same path that Maxim did towards the stage where we would meet the Sinistrals. Yes, enemy encounters are relatively low in this fortress, but yeah, as you can see, we can still get them. So the Sweetwater stays on. And there it is. There's the legendary sword, the dual blade. As you can see, it's irradiating lots of energy. Interestingly, the dual blade kind of functions the same way as the Master Sword in the Legend of Zelda series, in which it has a slight degree of sentience, in which it can detect evil and then just kind of act on its own. So it's kind of like the Bane of Evil, the Bane of Darkness, in this universe as well. So here's where we come up against a major plot twist. So we're examining the statues of the Sinistrals, and we take a look at Aram, and the face seems a little familiar. So the party mentions that Aram kind of looks like Lufia. So as they're speculating on this, Deos comes onto the scene and pretty much confirms it. Yes, Aram actually did revive 16 years ago. As a matter of fact, I'm going to use my magic to awaken her memories now. So even though she doesn't transform she doesn't become Aram just yet. Aram's spirit still resides within Lufia. So after this traumatic experience, everybody's at the inn in Sachet, and everybody's gonna just get some rest right now. We're too tired to really think right now. We just need to recover. So Lufia is the first one to wake up among the ladies, and she overhears a conversation between the hero and Aguro. So the hero is obviously mentally and emotionally struggling with the revelation that Deos made about Lufia being Aram. So Aguro is trying to keep the hero grounded in reality. Yes, she is in fact Aram, and if there's any chance of getting rid of the Sinistrals for good, that means we're also going to have to potentially destroy Lufia. But the hero is upset about that, and he's like, you know, I don't want to think about it right now. We're just going to continue our journey and then just see what happens. So Lufia runs to bed, pretending not to have heard anything. So everybody wakes up, everybody rejoins the party, and they all agree to go back to Professor Shia's lab together to see what can be done about the fact that Doom Island is now floating in the sky again. So we go back to Carbis. And Professor Oak pretty much tells us, yeah, the Falcon is going to need to find a way to reach the floating Doom Island. Luckily for you, we can actually convert our boat/submarine into an airship too. But in order to do that, we're going to need some fuel to power up the airship. We're going to need a substance called power oil. So we can go to a shop in Epro that sells power oil. And good luck getting it. Surely it's still in stock. Surely it's still on sale. But no, of course not. That would be too easy. So another fetch quest we go. So the guy behind the counter says that the main person who mines the oil caves is a man named Hedge. So you may be able to catch him. So we take our boat, we circle around the island. And lo and behold... I said lo and behold. Oh,
this game is not letting you do the thing.
It's not. It couldn't let me have a PB today, so the pirates already stole my time. So yeah, lo and behold, we just ran into Hedge, and he tells us, yeah, I was actually just on my way to the mines in order to collect more power oil. But unfortunately, there was an earthquake that just happened, so the pathway to the oil cave just got blocked off by a bunch of mountains and rocks. So I'm gonna quit my job. Here's the oil key. Here's the oil cave key. You can knock yourself out. I'm gonna go look for another job. That's essentially what he said.
Well, meanwhile, we're underwater. We're gonna be picking up another miracle. And another ground blade that we're not gonna be needing, but we are gonna be setting it out later. At this point of this game, we are not gonna be picking up any any potential like items. However, if you would play like in a casual way and you start like picking up these items, you'll notice that there are gonna be stuff called like dragon items, like dragon arrows, dragon tooth, dragon ring, which, you know, it kind of gives you a hint of what you want, what are you gonna be like fighting against. They're supposed to, you know, like these accessories are going to help you, you know, to defeat the upcoming boss, because, you know, like you listen, oh, it's something made out of a dragon, so it definitely is gonna like do lots of damage and whatever. But the thing is that apparently our cute little developers, as they were creating this game, kind of forget, or say rather, they forgot to code the upcoming enemy as an actual dragon. So it looks like a dragon, it is a dragon, but according to the code, it is not.
Yes, so...
all these items, yeah, are completely useless to actually use it against them. So even if we pick them up, we will be using them to actually attack the dragon encounters that we find here, like those little like sea dragons or whatever. But because we're just smoke bolt past them, because, you know, we don't need to grind at all, it really does not matter at all. So at the end, we're just gonna, before the fight, we're just gonna do our typical like healing up, and then we're gonna be encountering another of your cute little bosses, right, sweetie?
Yes. Pretty much made it to the end of the road. If you look on the far right, there's our oil dragon. So we're gonna need to beat him in order to get to that chest with the power oil. But we're gonna use our stat potions right now. That's the only one, okay. Jaren heal. And it begins.
Okay, so the oil dragon has 4,800 HP. Sorry, numbers are hard. So that was a good roll, by the way.
Indeed.
That's another one. But yeah, the oil dragon moveset consists on the fire air, which we're seeing it right now that it's an AoE. Regular attacks, sometimes they crit. Then we're gonna have oily air that is gonna help us to. That is gonna reduce, the agility. And mirror, so hopefully we don't get to see that. The simple fact that the oil dragon does not cast any status effects like sleep and confusion makes him more tolerable than bows and pirates, although that doesn't necessarily say that it's free, like it's gonna be like a free boss. Depending on how lucky we got with the red core manips, Jering, as we can see, did not made it up to level 32, which she kind of needed in order to learn the spell Mirror. And having that spell is especially helpful in the latter half of the fights once that he starts upgrading his fire air attack to do massive damage. So it could also like help to deflect the oily air back at him. So there's a.
Yep, there's our upgraded fire. So he's literally cooking us alive unless we start healing ASAP. Okay, we got it off before the next fire, so thank God. Yeah, at this point, when he starts aggressively using the fire like that, that's no joke. We need to heal ASAP. We need Lufia and Jaren both on the job, and then just have Hero and Aguro just finish it up for us. Just keep wailing on him until he's down. No more power gourds, no more BSing around. No more toying with stats.
Oh my god, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, having the party with the reduced agility paired up with these upgraded fire, he could potentially wipe out the party even before you get a chance to heal. So let's pray that that's not the case. Yeah, for now I think you're already like below 2000 damage. So just a little bit more.
Yeah, this is why we needed the double boost, because one fire air almost killed Aguro just now from full health. So I'm seeing a question in the chat. What are my thoughts on the 3DS Lufia remake? I have no opinion on that because I haven't played it before. I've only tried the Super NES games, Lufia and the Fortress of Doom and Rise of the Sinistrals.
Also, we got some oily air here, so better watch out.
Okay, so that helps. I hope I'm not digging my grave by risking bolt. Especially since we got the oily air.
Should be maybe like on the high, low 2000s by now.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Just hit the dash.
Alright, we salvaged it. We're back to stable health.
The fire air.
The fire hits so hard. There we go. We're out of here.
There we go. Woo.
Holy.
And nobody died. That's the most important part.
Exactly.
Okay. Now with the power oil, we're gonna be yeeting our ways out of here and go and meet the Professor Shaya in his last laboratory location in Fruderia. So
yeah, we can reach Fredaria by taking the path to Carbis, which is the last lab we were at, and then just going straight south.
Stop with the ambush.
No.
Oh, watch out with
yeah.
the hero's helper.
Yeah, we're good on health now because we're about to come up on another town where we can just use the inn right away. So yeah, we get a miracle from the flowers. And here's where the professor's lab is. Here's where all the magic happens. So we have our power oil, so he calls his assistant to bring the Falcon over to him. And now it's time to get to work.
Yeah, right now, as we enter, yeah, I was gonna say that the Doom Island was plotting something. So right now we're going towards Arubus.
And Arubus is directly west of here. And boom. I love how fast the airship travels. So there's the lovely inn we can use.
Yeah, in this town we'll be doing our final run of shopping for the end game. So we're gonna get the Zircon axe for Aguro, and we're gonna get some Zircon plates and the Zircon wrists. We're gonna then spend the rest of our money on X potions that will fully heal a single party member, and pretty much that sets us off to Doom Island, or actually our last dungeon before Doom Island.
Yeah, we just need the Zircon plates and the helm for equipment, because that's going to help us survive Gades' attacks a little better. Just need the Zircon axe, and that's going to be Aguro's final weapon. And we're going to spend the rest of our money on X potions. Because God knows we need as many as we can get. And we're done. We're done shopping for the rest of the game. And we're going to do a safety save before we, yeah. We are out. So now we are going to take the airship. Well, first I should probably back up and say that Doom Island is currently in the sky, yes, but is being blocked by an invisible barrier that's emanating from Glasdar Tower. So we're going to need to go to that tower to find out who the culprit is and stop the barrier. So to access Glasdar Tower, we need to access 2 caves first. The one up north that we just entered is going to give us the Glasdar key. So we're going to have to do a little bit of digging around for it. So we're going to start off by skipping most of the chests in this cave. There's we have 14 miracles right now. If we have at least 16, I would say that we have a healthy stock for the final part of the game. So thankfully there's 2 chests where we can pick 2 more miracles. And I'm not liking this encounter rate. So yeah, first set of stairs we see. We follow the tower accordingly. I mean the hallway accordingly. And then first we're gonna take the far left doorway. Oh, by the way, fun little fact about that enemy we just saw, the Hydras. They have a very rare item drop in this game called the Might Sword. And it actually does, it actually boosts the hero and the Guru 60 units higher than the dual blade would. But it's the drop rate is 1 in 256, which translates to 0.04%. I do believe that there is a known RNG manipulation for it that Almagus has experimented with when he ran normal mode several years ago, but I haven't seen any documentation on it, so I don't want to spread that as if it was gospel or anything. But there is actually a pretty solid RNG manipulation to get the Might Sword right on Doom Island in the Japanese version, like right in the prologue. Under ordinary circumstances, that wouldn't be particularly helpful. But there is actually a glitch in the Japanese version of the game where you can carry prologue items into the normal game after you defeat the Sinistrals. So basically, the Japanese version is programmed in a way where once you finish the prologue and transition over to the main game, it's supposed to wipe out the first 2 pages of your inventory, which is conveniently how many items you start out with, like how many slots you start out with that are filled in. So that translates, I think, to roughly 24 slots, and that's all it was really programmed to do. So if you start filling your inventory on the 3rd page in the main menu, and that also includes like going after treasure chests that are on Doom Island, or just unequipping your party members intentionally right before you fight Deus, you can carry some super powerful items like a whole stock full of miracles, the dual blade, the Zircon axe, the Zircon equipment, really fast boots and stuff like that into the main game. So you can trivialize at least an hour's worth of bosses, like when you're starting out at level 1. So that explains why the world record for the Japanese version is at least 40 minutes faster than the US version. So that's why we have separate categories for those on SRC, presumably. So now that I'm done yapping about that, we just went through a room that has the black ring, and that has the final accessory to boost Jaren's stats. And we're going to transfer that High Days ring onto the hero. So now that we're in this room full of a bunch of staircases, all we have to do is take the most northwest path, and that'll take us to the exit. Yeah, we don't have to stop for any more chests. We have 16 miracles. We have like 24 X potions. We're good for the end game.
Okay, so as we are making our way up, we're right now at the Glassdoor Tower.
That's right. Yeah, Glassdoor Tower is a very long and convoluted tower with a million different doors, so I didn't want to burden Icarus with the explanation of the routing, so I figured that, you know, go screen by screen, I'll just say, like, yeah, we could just go down, we could just go right, so there's not really much going on in terms of strategy, so this is a pretty chill source of navigation. So we're just gonna take this tower.
Oh, the sweet water run out.
Ah, yes.
Yes, we're like navigating towards the tower. We're just trying to find the responsible of said invisible barrier towards the Mylan. And we're gonna be walking upon the next boss that is called Naseby. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Naseby. Naseby is one of the it is one of the second longest and tankiest bosses of the game, with 5600 HP, and has 3 battle phases as he transitions through as he reaches certain HP thresholds. So I'll make sure to have at least a calculator here so I can I can just pray for the nice damage rolls here.
Indeed. And the best part is, Jaren is now at level 32, so we can use our mirrors to reflect all those spells back. Oop. These doors are so trolly, because you can't just like hold up without just re-entering the same door multiple times.
You're good, you're good. You're doing just fine.
And there he is.
Okay. So for the phase 1, he has a physical quote-unquote attack called Maze, which it has a 50-50 chance of actually one-hit KO party member. And he still has those Dew and Spark type of attacks. Okay.
And he missed. Good.
Oh, he missed. Oh my god,
That was a little scary.
Yeah. Especially because he targeted Lufia.
Yeah. Oh.
He missed again.
Try it again.
Let's go.
Still in phase 1 if he's still using Dew.
Yeah. Agura is doing very nice though.
Indeed. Yeah, having the Zircon Axe paired with the Heavy Ring makes him do a lot of damage.
Oof, he missed.
I was trying.
Okay, he's now in phase 2.
I believe so, yes.
Because he's been also using Mirror, he's using Blast, and right now he might actually use Water, so let's hope that he does not use Water.
Ugh.
Ouch.
Ah!
Okay. Oof.
Yeah, Succumb can be a little scary.
Yeah, he's right now in phase 3, since he used to come. It's a 50-50 chance of actually killing each party member, so...
Oh god, I'm losing track of who I'm using mirror on, so Aguro needs protection next.
Very nice. Oh,
just barely.
Aguro, yeah.
Really?
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Be careful. Oh my god. Oh my god. Ah.
Okay.
Okay, we're back.
Yeah, we recovered,
we're
but
back in the game.
it was still kind of rough.
He has mirror.
I believe it wore off.
Come on.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, for the record, Slacum will never affect Naseby.
Also, yeah, hi Leslie. I'm helping in the commentary here.
Hey, welcome on in, Leslie. Thank you so much for the good luck. I appreciate it.
Come on. Less than 2,000.
Alright, everybody has their barriers up, so that's good.
Aguro lost the mirror. Hero needs mirror.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a little concerned about how quickly these mirrors are wearing off.
Yeah, they typically wear off after 3 turn cycles, but this time around they are doing awfully like shorter. Come on, sweetie. Okay. 3 digits. HP now. So he should be down soon.
Yes. We lost a lot of time on this Naseby, unfortunately. We spent a lot of time having to revive and heal, so I don't understand what was going on with those mirrors just not lasting as long as they should be. And he's down.
There you go. Okay, so
now that we defeated Naseby, so she betrays the party. Well, betrays because she's our own, but yeah, she steals the dual blade away from the hero. I don't want to hear it. Meanwhile, Deos is giving Lufia the welcome home. So Deos uses his spell to pretty much shatter the dual blade. And there we go. For something. Alright, so we are now on our way to the Fortress of Doom, and now we are finally on our way to defeat the Sinistrals once and for all. But the true final boss, one would think, logically, that it would be Deos, since he's, the leader of the Sinistrals. But no, in a speedrun, the true final boss is Gades. And what makes Gades so incredibly scary is the fact that you can't use mirrors against him. He's not a magic user. He only does physical attacks, and he hits like an absolute tank. So if he decides to just juice up his stats by using a spell called Undead, he'll boost his attack power really high to the point where he could just casually one-hit KO you and get multiple turns off on you.
yeah, Gades is the one boss that you stock up so many X potions and miracles in order to survive. He has more, like 1000 more HP than when you saw him in the prologue, and Agur is the only one with a decent chance of surviving from full health. So if either the hero or Agur die, their power core has to be reapplied to do maximum damage, and you never know who he's gonna be targeting, so it's entirely possible to end up wasting multiple items trying to fight him optimally. And if we're really unlucky, he can sometimes gain turn priority over you, and when he KO 2 party members as you attempt to recover. So if you commit the wrong move before he does that, he can completely wipe you out on the next turn. You're kind of forced to survive while following this, like the typical script, and hope he dies first.
Alright, so we got our power gourds on Hero and Aguro, so they're doing some pretty good damage. And yeah, he opened with a regular attack. So
Really? Regular attack and...
oh my god.
Wow. It's starting.
Oh. This guy is just awful. Welcome to Gatey's fight, everybody. And he's powering up too. Uh-oh. Okay, good. Yes, the more that we use X potions, the better. We actually have more of those than miracles.
How many HP does he have again?
Close to 4,000.
Okay. Okay, you're doing good. I forgot that I was at a marathon and I almost say something wrong. I control myself though.
Alrighty then.
No, Jerry. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I think you're already close to 2000 HP dealt. So.
Okay, very good. Thank you for those quick calculations. Okay, good. Regular attack. Ugh.
No!
Okay. Doing good.
Getting close to 3000. Stop with the destroy!
Destroy is so awful.
No!
Running out of miracles here.
Kidding me? Dude, stop!
Alright, I'm getting a little desperate here.
Oh my god.
This has now just become a game of whack-a-mole.
Yes! Oh my god. Come on. Okay. My god!
I hate this guy so much.
Oh my god!
I'm pretty sure I said that like 10 times already, in case nobody's gotten the message yet.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. How much HP again?
4,000.
Okay. Oh my god, stop! Okay, you're like 700 close to damage.
Okay.
Okay, okay, we're good.
Oh, he survived. Okay.
Oh my god! Come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on. No! dude.
Stop.
Stop.
Alright, at least he's down.
Oh my god. But the hero's not gonna gain the levels, right?
No, he's not, unfortunately.
Oh no. Okay, Amon. By comparison, he's the easiest one though. He uses magic almost exclusively, so we can reflect back all his spells like Sunder, Flood, and Dread to him. So he does her job for us by nerfing his own defense, and we don't have to be spending many power cards. The only change to this battle algorithm is that he uses a move called Melancholy. Nothing happens, but it serves as a warning that he will cast an AoE spell called Chaos, which will try to confuse the party. However, this can be protected with Mirror, and he also has a slightly less health compared to the rest of the Sinistrals. He has like 3980, which I didn't start calculating, so I'm sorry. He can be down though, like in 3 minutes. So. I think you're doing great, Speedy, with this. There it is. That's the warning.
Thank you, baby.
So we get all the mirrors.
Yeah, as long as we keep the mirrors up, we don't have to worry about healing until after the battle, since you have the opportunity to mend you before entering Deos. So we just have to focus on winning. As you can see, he's using the dreads to nerf his own defense, so it's pretty much open season.
Jerry needs the mirror. He's almost down, I think.
I think so too. Yeah, his fight only takes about like 3 minutes on average. Probably give it like 1 more minute.
Oh no. He got the chaos just right when the thing was the mirror like got out. That was so lame.
There we go. Still managed to take out Amon even in spite of the confusion.
Okay, so Deos is coming next, and we will be implementing most of the same strategies that we did with Amon. Virtually all of his spells can be protected against with Mirror, and he will rely on attacks like Flood and Vulcan, like he does in the prologue. The only difference is that he will attempt to occasionally heal himself with a stronger and use a spell called Amnesia to paralyze the party. So let's get the counter coming up here. Okay.
So yeah, the spell Amnesia has a 50-50 chance of causing paralysis on all the party members. And the only item that can heal that is something called Mystery Pin, which we only have one of in our inventory. I don't generally collect them because we're usually not in a position where we have to worry about it.
Okay, he's cooking himself up.
It's been a couple of turn cycles, so it may be worth getting some power gourds up as well. Especially on Hero. He's trying. There, finally he nerfs himself. I want to make sure that Hero is at full health before we enter the final phase of the game. Kind of wish he would stop using Amnesia, considering like it doesn't move the needle forward as far as health.
You're pretty much right there.
Yeah, it feels
Close to 1k now. Just to close to 1k.
Oh yeah. And I would imagine like maybe 3 more turn cycles.
Ooh, with this thread, I think yeah, maybe 2 turns. Yeah, 3-digit number HP now. Good.
Thank you for the Vulcans. Yeah, I think we got him.
Yeah, he's just one more regular attack from Maguro and the hero. Yeah, one more. What? I miscalculated something? Or how much HP does they yourself?
4,200.
Oh, you didn't tell me that. That's why I was like, I was with 4,000 and I was like, why am I minus 194 and he's not dead?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Alright, so...
Down!
He's down. Alright, so now the Sinistrals are trying to merge again in order to create one more powerful being. But Lufia is able to break away even in spite of her being Aram. So she comes to her senses just in time to join our party one last time. So, behold the monstrosity that is Gardeos.
Yeah, Gardeos is officially the final boss of the game. He has 63,000 HP. Because now Erim, or better said Lufia, broke away, we managed to give her be with her at the party, so we're gonna have more help coming from Lufia. Her role in the battle, it will be mostly to heal and apply power gourds and cast bolt whenever it's possible. There is a chance that she may end up dying mid-fight, but at this point it would be faster to leave her alone as she is, because we save time on attack animations. In the US version for this fight, it's very dull as its moveset consists exclusively of Flood and Big Wall. That it's an, well, this one, that it's an AoE spell that confuses the party. And depending how many times we have to reflect back a status effect, it's not unusual for the time to fluctuate by 40 seconds in either direction, since he doesn't take damage during those turns. So
Yeah, it's really not the most exciting fight. All he does is flood Infigule. So he's not even gonna warn us anymore like Amon did whenever he does like the Chaos spell. He just goes with it.
Would be nice to maybe like apply some dread to him as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think on the hero's next turn I can use Drone, which is basically serves the same function.
Lufia!
No. Don't confuse Jaren, please.
No!
Oh, I didn't even realize Hero lost his mirror too. Oh, Guro too.
They just lost it.
Miss,
No,
miss.
Aguro.
Oh, it's gonna be.
Ooh. Okay, good. Luckily he was slow enough to not attack.
Yeah. Alright, next mirror is Hero. Just keep the rotation going, don't forget. Sometimes I have a bad habit of double mirroring a single character and then the others wear off, and I just screw up the rhythm.
Maybe Drain? Right now would be a good use of Drain.
Yeah, I think so too.
Nice.
Yes, keep up the floods, please. Aguro hits so hard and I'm loving every minute of it.
Yeah. Maybe apply another Drain.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would say to apply more Drain towards from the hero, because remember that the hero died in one of the fights, so he didn't get the experience. Meanwhile, like Guro has been the powerhouse of the party.
Yeah.
That's me. That's just me. Like blah, blah, blah.
No, you're absolutely right. Hero should be at level 48 by now.
Yeah.
So unless he's carried by some power chords, he's gonna be a bit of an issue. We can't just have him continuously dealing like 120 HP damage.
Mirror. Three digits left. I mean, 3. Yeah, we're close.
Let's go.
We're close.
There it is.
There we go. And GG.
Thank you. And time ends right here at this cutscene. Jaren is at low MP, Monka S. Yeah, she was only at like 13 MP left, so we only had enough for like 4 more turns of mirror. Yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed Lufia and the Fortress of Doom. I don't know if there's time in the schedule to play through the rest of the ending or just like give a summary about that, because, you know, the ending itself is like 6 to 8 minutes. But this was a wildly good run, with all things considered. Like, it was a no reset, it was a marathon setting, it was very, very heavy RNG dependent. And for more than half of the run, I managed to keep in pace with my PB for at least 2 out of the 3 hours of this run. I was only like 40 seconds behind, and then, yeah, things started to go a little bit downhill once I had to spend several minutes just trying to heal and keep myself alive for Bosun and Pirates, so the time losses just kind of snowballed, especially considering Hero was slightly underleveled, and one of our red cores ran away, which means that Jaren ended up learning Mirror late, which kind of slowed us down for the Oil Dragon as well. But in spite of almost game overing on Gades, we managed to just barely hang out there by a thread and just kind of push through. So big thank you to everybody for joining me on this adventure. Huge, enormous thank you to the love of my life, Ikaros, for supporting me in the commentary booth and providing a lot of information, especially at times when I really needed to focus, and really being there by my side and supporting me as always. Big thank you again to Retro Games Live for hosting this event. Thank you for having me. The Lufia series is very close to my heart. I love this game. I grew up with it since I was in elementary school, so it's been a big passion project for me over the past 8 months. So it's been a real honor to be able to bring this game over towards all of you. So the final time was a 3:32, which is only like 14 minutes behind my PB, so we're a solid 13 minutes ahead of estimates, so there's not much more I could have asked for. So, yeah, I just got word that we are still within estimates, so we can talk about the ending for a bit. So, I know I meshed through the text a lot, so basically what happened was, yeah, we saw the scene where Lufia said to the hero, pretty much, you know, take the dual blade and destroy me. You know, Erembl is within me, and as long as I remain alive, you know, the Sinistrals will keep coming back. The hero obviously didn't want to do that, but, you know, the dual blade itself ended up gaining some sentience, and it just took itself from his hand, acted on its own, and just struck her, and then she just pretty much went flying. So in her final words, Lufia pretty much told the hero, you know, I was much happier in the short time I lived as Lufia than the entire eternity I spent as Aram. So, in a very final dramatic farewell, Lufia fell from the collapsing bridge. Hero tried to go after her, but Aguro pretty much pulled him back, and Jaren and Aguro pretty much helped the party escape with the last moments that they had on Doom Island. So they flew away on the airship, but the hero was obviously never the same after that. So after they pretty much landed, you know, over by Odell, he pretty much went his own path, didn't even really bother to say goodbye to the rest of the party. And Aguro pretty much just said to Jaren, you know, you just gotta let him go. You know, he did what he set out to do. He has his own soul searching to do. So now it's 1 year later into the future, and this is where we are in the ending right now. It's obvious, and the story is pretty much depicting that Jaren has stayed in Lorbania as pretty much a tenant, living as Aguro's roommate until she had a chance to get her back on her own 2 feet and find her own home. So Aguro was meeting her at the docks, and he says, "Sorry to be so long, Jaren. It's been a year, hasn't it, Aguro?" "Yeah. I wonder what happened to RGLtv, or the hero." "I don't know, but he's not in Alekia. I don't know where he is now, but what?" "I know I'll see him again. I just feel it." "Yes, I feel the same thing. We'll see him again." "A year has passed, Jaren, and there's something I want to tell you." "What's going on, Aguro? It's not like you to be so serious." "How long do you think you're gonna stay in this town?" "What? What do you mean, what? A year ago you said there was no place for you to go, so I brought you here. And yet you never went looking for a new home." What are you saying? Am I bothering you? Yes, you're bothering me. Thanks to you, I can't even eat unless I serve in the army. Hey, I earn my keep, don't I? It costs more than that when 2 people live together. I don't even have a girlfriend. You couldn't find a girlfriend even if I wasn't living with you. You weren't cute when I met you, and 1 year later you're still not cute. Ouch. I don't care if you think I'm cute or not. What an attitude. No wonder you can't find a new place to live. You see, this is just why I love this game. There's just so much personality between all these characters, and the bickering is really, really charming in my opinion. But yeah, the hero finds his way back to Aru's village, and yeah, Lufia's favorite flower, Perfea, was in full bloom then. Hello, are you a traveler? Yes, I'm RGL. I've been traveling around the world for about a year. Around the world? I envy you. I've never been far from the village. Excuse me, but may I ask your name? And it turns out it was Lufia after all. So it turns out that while Lufia no longer exists as Arum in this world, she still managed to keep her soul and her main personality. So it turns out that, yeah, Old Man Flake managed to find her when she fell from Doom Island, and she was hit pretty hard with some severe amnesia and really bad injuries. So Flake pretty much explains that, you know, I helped nurse her back to health, I helped her know what she knows now. And he explains to the hero that, you know, I want you to stay by Lufia's side. You know, you two were obviously very close back then, and, you know, I had the sixth sense that, you know, you two belong to each other. So now the tea is ready. Time to come inside. Oh, you made cinnamon tea. Usually you don't make it. What changed your mind? Well, we have a guest, and I thought it would be nice. When my guests come, you don't usually make ordinary tea. That's not true. Sometimes I make it for your guests. It's alright. My friends alone can't make you do this, I understand. But the hero is your own age, Lufia. I know you want to do something special. What? Oh, you? How could you say that, Grandpa? Forgive us. Just ignore him. I see. So, Lufia, you're saying you don't like him? I never said that. It's Lufia. It really is her, isn't it? Yes, but she's different from the Lufia you know. I don't care, as long as she's alive. Even without her memory, she doesn't even remember you. Memories. That's alright, we'll just make new memories. What's that? Teas are getting cold, come in quick! Indeed, Lufia's waiting. So yeah, now the credit rolls come, and we get to enjoy a couple of scenes from back in the day. So Alekia still comes on as still carries on as usual, and Old Man Roman is tending to a new pair of kids, the new generation. See some ladies waiting at the docks of Lorbenia. I have no idea what was going on there. So here we are back in Grenoble. So someone's trying to get into the kiosk to get an old cave mission without paying his toll, and he's getting blocked. Love these goofy little interactions between the NPCs.
I think that guy is Cooper.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. He wore the same outfit too.
Yeah.
And it looks like little Mark and Reyna are happily playing together in Kairoth. Yeah, it turns out Reyna's father is actually the item shopkeeper. Yeah, and also the fun little fact about this game is that it's also heavily censored when it was released in the US. In the original release of this game, those ladies that are over there were actually in bunny suits. So,
Oh my god.
So it was actually that kind of club he was hanging out at.
The king came to.
The king is getting his delicious meals again. Really putting the chef to work. Once again, striking down the Sinistrals with the dual blade. Boasting those damn pirates. Looks like he stepped on the switches in the wrong order, so now his crew are coming after him. And there's Lou in Frederia with his father, Professor Shia. Finally got to rebuild that family bond. And at long last, the hero and Lufia reunited happily ever after. Lufia and the Fortress of Doom, everybody. Once again, thank you all so much for having me. Thank you so much, Ikaros, again for joining me on commentary. Lots of love to everybody over at the Retro Games Live community. And definitely stay tuned because Desert Eagle will be running Super Mario RPG, so you're not going to want to miss that. So once again, have a good night, everybody. And I'll catch you all again on the other side of the marathon. Take care, all.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.